Hello and welcome to the Ranting and Raving podcast with myself, Wayne Scott Fox and Mickey Williams. And today is a little bit different to what you're used to with us. We have a very special guest, haven't we, Michael?
We have.
Dave from Birmingham, isn't it?
Dave from Birmingham.
All right, Dave.
Dave from Birmingham is our very special guest.
Look at the look of disgust.
Started well, he says.
What did Mickey say? We got Frankie Boyle.
Frankie Boyle in the studio.
Put in the
today.
comments if you think he looks like Frankie Boyle.
Oh, yeah. This is good.
But in all seriousness, we have a very, very influential local lad on the music scene who goes by the name of Pattern Perception.
Yes, and he makes some extremely fucking good music.
Very good. Very good.
So, yep, Dave. We're going to call you Dave instead of calling you Pattern.
Well, David.
Yeah.
We won't call you David. Too official.
It is.
If I call you David, I feel like you're some kind of university lecturer or something like that.
I feel. Yeah.
What do you do for a living, Dave?
It depends whether I've got the glasses on or off, mate. But yeah.
When you're not doing stand-up comedy.
Well, with them glasses on, you look very refined.
I do look
I must
refined,
say, yeah.
It sounds like a new word. You've just learned that.
Yeah, it's definitely a new word.
I'm looking forward to this show. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So, go on then, Mickey. Set it off then. Okay.
Right, Dave. Give us a little bit about you. Let our viewers know who you are, where you're from,
Okay.
where you grew up.
So, contrary to popular belief, I'm from the Black Country.
Not Birmingham.
Not Birmingham, no.
The Black Country, was that Africa? What Black Country?
I do, you know what? I've got fucking. I'll tell you about that later, actually. But I've started being called Black Dave by a certain individual
Oh, okay.
because he doesn't understand what the Black Country is. So he thinks it's to do with something to do with Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. I have.
Why do people outside of the Black Country not know what the Black Country is?
It's hard work, mate. It's
It
hard
is, isn't
work,
it?
Yeah.
Do you know when you're on holiday, when you're in Spain and stuff like that, and people go to me, where are you from? I say, Warsaw. They go, where's that? I say, just have Birmingham, mate.
Yeah.
You have
Because
to.
everyone knows Birmingham.
Yeah, you
they
have to.
They don't know Warsaw.
Yeah.
It's the Black Country.
Okay, so you're from the Black Country, which
From the
is
Black
in the West Midlands.
Well, I say I'm from the Black Country. I wasn't born there. I was born in Blackpool, actually.
Really?
Yeah, what do you mean?
So he's not even a real yam. He's going on earlier like,
Hang on.
Go in. I said that
Hang
on
on.
purpose.
How old?
I said that on purpose. Don't even go there.
How old? What are you on about?
I just said go in. I thought he was going to pick me up.
No.
I was two.
Not yet.
Mate. I was two when I moved.
Yeah.
It wasn't my choice, mate. I would have stayed there. I love the seaside.
But no, if
mate.
you was 2 when you moved, we can sort of give you your
Have you seen
Black
Blackpool's
Country
Beach?
status.
It's got worse over the years, but I think that partially to do with me leaving. Because when I was there, I used to keep
Lovely.
a good eye on it,
was
mate.
lovely.
You know what I mean?
As you
Until
do.
I was 2 years old.
As you do at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, off topic. So you're from the Black Country.
Yeah.
Okay, and a bit more.
Yeah. So I work in Wolverhampton. I work at the University of Wolverhampton.
What'd you do there?
I teach psychology. But a lot of people don't believe that I do that when I speak to them, and I can't really blame them, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't look like I teach psychology, but
You look like you do stand-up comedy.
oh, is it? Yeah, fuck you,
That
mate.
geezer who plays the guitar. What's
Oh,
his name? The
fuck you.
comedian.
Don't you
Which one?
fuck about, mate.
The Black Country bloke. That's right. He's just fucking the setup.
Yeah.
Look at him knocking pillars off, wires.
I've got my ADHD badge, mate.
So yeah, university.
Yeah.
You do what? Sorry, teach psychology.
Teach psychology, yeah. So I started doing well. I went to university when I was 32.
Yeah.
So a
Late
little
bloomer.
bit later on, like when I was young, I wouldn't have been able to cope with it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think I did it at the right age, and did the undergraduate, and then ended up working there and doing a PhD alongside it. So it's given me like a new kind of lease of life, really.
Yeah.
With just kind of change of environment, really. It's quite an inspiring place to work, although it's Wolverhampton. You know,
Yeah, it's not a very inspiring place.
well. We
But then again, if you've got a nice university and you're bringing people through, it could be an inspiring place in the future.
Our university, the tagline is, we're the University of Opportunity.
Yeah.
And I fully believe in that because it gives
I've
me,
seen
it
that on the
give
back
me-
of the buses.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah,
interrupting
yeah.
him, man.
Yeah. It did give me the opportunity, though. To be fair, you know what I mean. So I have to kind of like when when I see people coming through there, like, you know, we do take people from like disadvantaged backgrounds and people who conventionally wouldn't have had the sort of educational attainment to get into university.
Yep.
We give them the opportunity,
Okay.
and you get pockets of people who you see it really work for, you know.
Yeah.
And
See the difference in them.
yeah, and it's that's something that kind of like spurs me on with the job.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel very fortunate with what I'm doing at the minute, work wise, and you know that is kind of my driving factor.
Yeah.
The music side of things is just a hobby that got a little bit out of hand, really. But
Okay.
so that is my motivation. Is
So
work, really.
Yeah, go on to the music then.
Hang on. Because before we diverge from your story there into music, that's living proof that doesn't matter what age you are, if there's something that you want to do, go and do it.
Yeah.
32,
Yeah.
decided. Can I ask why you decided to go into psychology?
It's completely on a whim, man. Like
Just something you were interested
I
in.
would. Shit, I'll just fucking knock that off. Did you hear that echo through the
Yeah.
headphones?
The straight through there.
Yeah. Mickey's gone to me again. He's gone, don't twitch about too much, like, you know. But no, the reason I got into it, like, I didn't really want to go into this.
No,
to be honest.
don't then. Just 'cause, you know.
So when I was in my bit earlier than my 30s, I was a little bit lost myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In various different ways. I've been out of work for a while, and then like someone gave me a chance, and I was working at this market stall, and I was loving it. You know what I mean? It's like 'cause I'm from a sales background, I was really enjoying it, but it clicked to me at one point. I thought, is this all I'm ever going to do? And I remember speaking to someone years back, and they said, "Oh, you should apply for university." And it was always something in the back of my mind I thought about doing, but never really give it too much attention. And I remember seeing an advert for clearance, which is like, you know, with universities you have to apply like 8 months in advance and get through this clearing thing, and you know, people who've got the highest attainment get the places. With Wolverhampton, you can literally apply for clearing in August. In September, you sit in the fucking classroom. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And like, so I was looking at the prospectus, and because I got interested in loads of different subjects, but I hadn't really got like a fixed interest in anything, I just picked it out of a hat. I was like, boom, I picked that psychology, and then next thing I know, I'm sitting in the classroom. Within 2 lectures, I was like, I like this. You know what I mean? This is good.
So you drop lucky.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then just applied myself to it, and that's really it.
But look
Okay.
where you've come. Not only did you pass and then get a PhD, but then actually get a job in the place that you graduated from.
But I still haven't got a PhD when I'm about 10 months off that,
But,
mate. So,
but you're gonna come on.
It's
You're
gonna
gonna
come
get
there.
it.
It's gonna
well,
come
you're
there.
gonna get
well,
it.
I don't know. We'll see.
We're
we'll
positive
see.
here.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get it. Yeah. But my whole point is at the age of 32,
Yeah,
he
being-
made that decision.
You've got to have bollocks to be a mature student, haven't you?
But then get a job in the actual place where
Place
you
where
studied.
you went and studied as well. Yeah.
That is a success story in itself.
That's a bit of a
Booyaka! What?
100%.
That's why I wanted to stop before we go into the music, because I think that's a really, I think you should be really proud of that. I mean, you are anyway, but that is
It might help one of our viewers who are
That is
undecided
like-
about whether going back to uni
I
or something.
would-
So that
I recommend it to everyone. I really
Yeah.
do. Especially if you're a bit of a loose end, or if there's something you really wanted to learn about throughout your life. I think the problem that people have is that they think there's a barrier for funding it. But what the government do with the student finance program, although technically it's kind of a loan, a student loan,
yeah,
you only pay it back if you're earning over £28,000 a year.
there's a certain amount.
So if there's something you're interested in doing, even if it's just a passing interest and you're 60 years old and you want to learn about history, or you want the one thing university taught me above everything else is how to think critically about everything. So it's not that they teach you about a specific subject; it's how you think and approach information that you're experiencing and seeing.
yeah,
Other subjects. I mean, I can't sort of say for sure what other subjects are like art and whatnot, but with the sciences, I mean, the core thing that they teach you is how to conduct science in like a robust way, and how to approach the way you take on information
okay,
in a sort of systematic way. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I've used that and I've implemented that into like other aspects of my life. You know, stuff like with addiction and how it works on the brain, and you know, all sorts of stuff really. How you interact with your peers and stuff in social situations. And,
yeah,
I think that story's incredible.
yeah.
I think that is like, I would be super proud. I'd be fucking shouting from the rooftops if that was me. That's a story right there. Because the amount of people we see struggling, no motivation or no self belief. Yeah, like I'm I've suffered with PTSD, manic depressive disorder, anxiety, all that, and I beat that through something you very educated in, which we'll talk about later. And I'm very big on developing people with investing in themselves, like mentorship and stuff. And I'm now going to start doing one of the things I'm doing, building a website is like, when I say they're master classes, they're not. It's more about the people themselves and helping them achieve what they want to achieve in life. So your story to me is just like prime that everybody needs to take that on board. Doesn't matter what you're doing, doesn't matter how low you are. If you think, right, now is the time for me, he will tell you.
There's an
now is the
example
time.
that
If you think
it
the
can
time is
work.
for you now, if you sit there and think, right, now's my time, Dave will say the same.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
there's an example of that was his time, and he's took it with both hands and
Well
progressed.
Well done.
Because your life could have gone either way then at 32.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't do that, you could have still been in the job you were in, and you know, you could have still been unemployed. You could have ended up choosing that life.
Yeah, definitely. I had to kind of make a conscious decision, but what Wayne was just saying, I didn't realise that. I didn't. You know, that's impressive. That is, mate. You know, I'd like to hear more about that mentorship side of things, especially with the PTSD stuff, because I've experienced that myself before, and there are ways out of it. You know, it's unconventional.
It's a touchy subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used a combination of things. It wasn't just that. There was also the vitamins and stuff that I put in, which we can just, when we talk about this shortly, we'll go into it and I'll tell you everything that I took and stuff.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But cool. Okay, let's get into how you the music side of
music
things.
journey. Because I know, you know, you've just produced an album which came out on the 4th of July, I believe. I've listened to that about 100 times, and I'm going to listen to it 100 more because it's fucking incredible.
I haven't even got it.
You don't deserve it. You definitely don't deserve
Mickey,
it.
you have been one of my biggest supporters, mate, for a long time.
Fuck off! I've played your tunes out. He didn't even play out. See, you want a bollocks? That's bullshit.
I'm one of them people, man. If I listen to something and I go, wow, I'll let you know it's wow. If I listen to something and it's shit,
You know one of the things that really kind of like spurred me on with stuff, because you didn't need to give me any sort of shout about what I was doing, because we weren't close mates. We knew each other.
yeah.
And because of your heritage, because I know, like, you know, you worked at 10 Best as a buyer and stuff like that, and even when like you were putting records out when I was younger, the hard house stuff,
Yeah.
you're always taking a punt on that.
Sure, I put some of yours out, didn't
You
I?
have, you did,
give me
years
stuff.
ago. Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
But that to me, so for you to jump on board with what I was doing, obviously through the Riggsy connection, he's obviously showing you what I'm doing
Yeah.
behind closed doors. That speaks volumes to me. That does, because you've got such a good taste in music and a broad taste in music.
Spectrum's big, isn't it?
Some of the stuff you've made me
My
listen
music
to.
spectrum's like it's like an autism spectrum. It's fucking huge.
Crazy.
Spanish folk horror music.
Bring it. Cinematic dubs, whatever's fucking good. But it's like, yeah, that's what it is with me though. If it's good, I don't care if it's garage, if it's grime, if it's progressive house, if it's techno, if it's ambient, if it's good, it's good.
You like different. You like things to be different, don't you? You want to hear
Different.
something.
Yeah, I
no
want to
one
hear
else has
something
done,
that I haven't heard.
I think that's the key.
Before.
Though. I think that's the key to, especially making music in today's climate, because it was so insular before. You know, like if you're into hard house, all you listen to is hard house or speed garage.
I was just going to say, when I was into hard house, I didn't look at another type of music.
Yeah,
I
true,
bought hard house, I played hard house,
Listened.
I listened to hard house.
Same as me.
And then
Your baseline.
when I got the job at Tempest, that's when it opened my horizons. Because if you think of what genres we covered on our floor,
Yeah, there was fucking stacks, wasn't there, mate?
we were playing CDs from, you know, Steve Bugg and people like that, and it just completely changed my way of thinking with music. Like, and it was just like, fucking hell, there's a whole new dimension of music out there.
I think this is a really important thing to touch on for people who are producing music now and DJs. I think over the last couple of years, it's opened up more. So you're getting DJs who are techno DJs who are dropping breaks tracks in their sets, which I love. I love to hear. If it's
same
used
here,
right,
man.
if it's used in the right context.
Carl
yeah,
Cox used to do it.
brilliant.
He used to play his techno, but he'd drop a house track in the middle of it and he'd just go off.
Everything became so insular after a time, though. You know what I mean? And it was like that. I think that's what limited certain styles of music. They became so insular and like they started.
I can only play this.
Yeah, and remixing their own tracks like number of times without looking at outside influence. You know what I mean? And I think that can really damage a certain like scene or style of music.
It'll destroy a genre.
Yeah,
If there's no diversity.
everything becomes really hyper overproduced. You know what I mean? So the production will be so fucking clean, but that's the only thing. And when you think about music, if you think about like a track that you've heard that really touched you, you know, like you know, you've got your hair standing up. It's not based on how good the production was. It's based on the emotion that's attached to that track, the rawness of the track.
Yeah.
And I think that got lost for a
So
while.
I'll tell you which one does that for me. Paul Van Dyke for an Angel.
Yeah, brilliant track.
That does that for me.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
that. I heard that first ever time in Sunday Central, and it was the first time a tune made me come up while I was
That's a good shout.
on the ease.
Yeah.
Literally, I was sat down and that came on, and I had to stand up and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
What tune's done that for you? What's your ultimate tune? Like,
It's hard to say, man. I mean, Tony DeVee was probably one of my
The Dawn.
Well, I would say don't ever stop.
Don't Ever Stop.
That was probably one of my favourite
Yeah.
tracks. But yeah, I mean, there was a number of Tony DeVee tracks that did that for me. But I mean, we come from similar ages with the hard house stuff. You know, like that's where I cut my teeth, like with the raving stuff. But like I listen to all sorts of music. You know,
So what was the first sort of genre you clicked onto dance wise? Because everyone's got that starting point, and now for me it was we were around my mate's house, and his elder brother had the Helter Skelter packs, and we were playing them. He was playing them in the house, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
It's undeniable though.
Playing
isn't it, mate?
it was a Ratty and Tango
Yeah.
tape, and I was listening to it, going, "What is this?"
I don't
And he went,
know how people can hear it and not just go, "This is the fucking best."
Yeah,
ever."
he was like,
What's that?
He was like, this is my brother's. Like, he goes to these raves and stuff and buys these packs. And I was like, I need to fucking know what this is.
Yeah, man.
And then I got into like jungle quite early when that was around.
Jungle was a big thing for me. Jungle.
I
massive.
never took to it.
It blew me head off when I heard it. Like
I never took to jungle.
I blew my head off, mate. Every day I'd listen to jungle.
I was into Dougal and Happy Hardcore.
What was
all that.
Happy Hardcore's
The vocally stuff. I like the singing.
Yeah,
and that,
I would agree. So it was kind of the crossover between the two. I thought like, with the Happy Hardcore, with the broken beat stuff. I thought that worked fucking perfectly, man. You know,
So
and the piano.
When did you sort of get into the hard house scene then? Because it was Sunday Central at Pulse. That did it for me.
It was
that made me switch into that sound.
It was quite late for me. So like the first time I got introduced to a hard house event was actually a Tidy Weekender.
Okay.
I got brought to a Tidy Weekender by the guy I was working for at the
They're still
time.
fucking doing them, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, I fucking
Still going?
30th year or something.
I've only ever missed one since I fucking went to the first one, mate. They're like fucking a pilgrimage for me, Tidy Weekenders. I absolutely love them. They're the maddest fucking place on the planet. And everyone's just fucking
Everyone's
sound
sounding
as
And
well.
it's probably the same type of crowd keep going back
It is,
because
yeah.
the kids of today are not going to go there, are they?
Well,
You'd be
you
surprised,
say that.
mate.
Are they?
They get, so, you know, there's been that resurgence in the hard house sound, hasn't there, recently?
Yeah, like
It-
a
it-
big
it-
fast dunk sound.
Like
Dunk,
it,
dunk, dunk,
it has with
fucking
the
horrible.
like it has with the Speed Garage. How that's had a resurgence. Hard house is
But
getting
that's
played by a
but-
few people who you wouldn't expect to be playing hard house tracks.
It's evolved somewhat.
Apparently-
it's been stripped back a little bit, I think, from what I'm hearing. But Tidy, I mean, the guys who run Tidy, they're obviously savvy businessmen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're going to see this new resurgence of people, and they're going to go, "We want to get that
We need
involved
to
in
get
what
back
we're
on
doing."
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so like last time I went to a weekender, I was very surprised to see some 20-year-olds there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I am.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear that.
But do you know what it is? Do you know what that could be? They could be there with their mum and dad.
Yeah, because
Their mum and dad's fucking still going like.
Yeah.
the genre of today, they're all too cool and be like this, and they want to film everything. They don't understand to fucking have it.
Apparently, Patrick Topping played Paul Glasby Hostile
Did he really?
in one of his sets.
Fucking
There's a video of it apparently. And that's
I respect
fucking how he could fit one of them into his sets. I just don't know how you do it.
Speaking about Paul, actually, he's doing a really interesting podcast at the minute. Have you seen the When I Grew Up?
Yeah, I've listened to
It's
it.
really
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
man.
I tend to listen to the ones where he has people on I know.
Same here. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Lashes, Tidy Boys, E&M.
It's not a patch on your podcast, by the way. Guys.
Unlucky Glass.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, fair play to him. So, yeah, so you started listening to Hard House, and then at some point you started DJing it and producing.
Yeah.
What was your early bits? I think you were working with
When did you
Ridgey quite
start? When
early,
did you
weren't
start making music? How old were you? What era? Like
if
90s, 2000s, 80s?
If I really go back to when I first started making music, I had a program called Dance EJ.
I remember it.
that?
EJ.
Dance EJ. It was a really basic DAW, really. So all you
Yeah.
could really do is put in clips of what was already there.
Yeah.
And I'd
Just a sequencer, weren't it?
Yeah,
That was it.
I'd love to be able to find that stuff now, but it was on a computer that's probably like...
I'm sure Riggsy did fucking Acrobat Pat on that.
He did Music 2000.
Something like that,
He wrote
yeah.
down Music 2000. And that's so funny because like that track was released, and it did really well, didn't it? But
Yeah.
Riggs is just like another level of like fucking like
Genius.
genius, and it would. But no, I started on that when I was probably about 13, just learning how to like write stuff and whatnot. But Hard House wasn't the first music I got into. Like that came like when I was probably about 18 years old.
Yeah.
When I was 12 years, this is fucking a bit mad. This is right. So when I was 12, my grandparents bought me one of them personal CD players. Like the ones where you tap them and they'd skip like 40,
Yeah.
So you'd have to hold them completely straight, right?
On the bus.
Yeah.
backseat,
You learn your balancing skills.
Things that teenagers wouldn't know if you put in front of them on the podcast.
Yeah, it was hard times, man. Like they bought me that for probably my 12th birthday or Christmas when I was 12 years old. But they didn't realise, bless them, that you need a CD to go in it to listen to music. So the day after, they've given me 20 quid and they've gone, go up to HMV and find a CD. And because I've got no real musical reference other than what you're hearing in the charts, which never really resonated with me, I thought the best way for me to pick a CD out of these thousands of CDs, which I don't know what the fuck they are, is to look at the album artwork and look at the coolest front cover.
Yeah.
So I've spent hours looking around all these CDs, and I've come across this album cover, and it was Left Field, Rhythm and Stealth,
Okay.
and it's a black album, and it's got this red samurai suit on it. And I looked at it, I was like, because I was really into Japanese culture, like manga and all that. I was like, that's the one. So I got back home, whacked it on, and it's just blown my head off, man. It's like
It's a fucking CD to pick that is out of all
mate,
the CDs in HMV.
It was. I think that was like a real turning point in my life. That was because all my friends had never heard of it, and it was obviously it was like experimental underground electronic music. They were like pioneers of like certain techno, drum and bass breaks, and like organic electronica.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was listening to that from 12, and it just shaped my sort of worldview of music.
I'll be honest, that's a big sound to listen to for a 12-year-old.
Mind-blowing,
12-year-olds are normally like happy hardcore and stuff like that. Anything cheesy and bouncy, like Scouse House and stuff like that.
No, but a 12-year when he was 12, it would have been 90s R&B acts.
Yeah, I was actually into that.
Is that right?
How old are you now?
I'm 39, so 40 this month. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been about 90s R&B acts. That'd still been the thing by then.
90s R&B was huge, and to be fair, I fucking love it still. You know what I mean?
Bad boy, innit?
I listen to it still, like
Bet you don't listen to R. Kelly no more.
no, mate, so, you
Why?
know what? Yeah.
Because he's a fucking nonce, that's why.
Okay, but did he's been cleared? Did he guilty?
Has he been cleared?
Yeah.
When?
Done.
Has he?
He has actually. No, he got done for 2 charges, didn't he, or something?
But most of it, he's never going to go to jail.
I heard that he's setting up a Diddy party just for when he gets out.
When
of
he gets
fucking
out,
court.
yeah. Going down there with a fucking baby oil.
Yeah. Man.
So left field.
Yeah, Left Field, Rhythm and Stealth. And then obviously I bought that album, and then I realised that they had an album previous to that. So I bought Leftism, and then I was just like, how the fuck could it get better than what it already was?
Yeah.
And it was just seminal. It's just like I love listening to albums start to finish, especially if they're done right, because it's a collective like product of sound that was done in a sort of certain timeline, which if it's done right, it takes you on a journey throughout the album.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a masterpiece. Both those albums are masterpieces.
Yeah, the Massive Attacks, that for
Massive,
me.
yeah. The Mezzanine is
Yeah,
another one which is
I can listen to that 1,000 times.
Yeah. It's Massive Attack, a huge influence on my music as well. To be fair, I've listened.
It's Massive Attack, Banksy though.
Oh, is it Rob
Is
Del
it?
Naja? Well, I don't know.
I think it
that's
is, you
what
know.
Goldie let it out, and he went, "Oh, go."
He mentioned his name, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then
I don't
there was
know.
a story where Massive Attack were in, I don't know, Germany.
Yeah.
And then this Banksy artwork appeared in Germany, in the same city. And then there was somewhere else, and a piece appeared there as well. So when Goldie slipped his name, everyone was putting it must be him then.
To be fair,
He's a graffiti artist as well, isn't he?
You wouldn't put it past him because he's heavily political, this geezer, isn't he?
Is
So,
he?
like, yeah, so if he's doing stuff which is, infiltrating the sort of collective consciousness within the art world,
Yeah.
and he's doing stuff which is politically motivated, you could see him
Could
doing
be,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll never know.
Isn't it strange how DJs / producers or something can listen to music and pull it apart, where the general public are just listening to the vocal or the riff.
Yeah. They
don't hear
won't
what we
hear
hear.
what's going on.
Like when he's there saying blew his mind because he could hear. I've never.
When
ever
you
heard.
listen as general public, normally you listen to the bass line and the vocal. You don't hear the atmosphere.
nothing else.
That's in a track.
Yeah. The way you described that, and I thought I've never heard one of my non-music mates describe an album like that.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think that's probably more so now because I know how to produce music. When I listened to it back then, and I didn't really realise what I was listening to, it was so fucking profound. Like, you know, like.
But that impact on you.
Yeah, it had a huge impact. Oh, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
I suppose you're right. If it's had such an influential meaning on me with listening to that, it's that might be why I've gone into producing music. You know, and it's kind of shaped. You know, some of like, you know,
Some of your
all my
bits.
hobbies and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first track you produced or sat in with to be produced, would that have been with Riggs?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Would that be at his flat in Northfield?
it was, yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all been to Riggs' flat in Northfield.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. Really had the Daleks floating about. Like,
Fucking hell.
Yeah. First time I went in the studio with Riggs, I went in with a guy called, you know Steve Energy, don't you?
Yeah.
Went in with Steve. I was living with Steve at the time. And Steve was doing some really good music, you know. He was very heavily influenced by Tony DeVee. And
We signed that Stack the Garley off him.
that was a great track. There's a little spider on me, Mike.
You can keep him if you want.
He's all right there, isn't he?
Money Spider.
Hello, mate. Yeah,
Just don't eat him.
He's actually slagging you off. Can you not hear him?
Who's this cunt? That album's rubbish.
He looks like he's from Birmingham, he does, right?
Yeah, Steve did that Stack the Garley,
Yeah. Oh,
which
yes.
we put
yes,
out
sorry,
the
sorry,
first.
mate.
That was the first Nil by Mouth, that was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. It's a fucking great track, that was, man, to be fair.
Yeah, very good
great
track.
Sorry, I completely lost track of what I was saying then.
Yeah.
First tune you've done.
Yeah, first tune, right. So, I went in with Steve and we did a track called Aggressive Groove, which was quite like a kind of Tony. Steve took the lead with it, really.
Yeah.
You know what Riggs is like?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have any knowledge of music. You can just go, I want something to sound like that. And before you've even got it out of your mouth, he's gone, du-du-du-du. Like, you know what I mean? It's exactly like what you just done. You know
Have
what
you
I mean?
noticed how telepathic he can be when you work for a long time with Riggs?
Yeah, I think, yes.
He knows what you want.
He's got levels of autism, hasn't he, mate? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I can say something to him and you go, I was
Yeah.
just about to put that in. And then he'll go to me, what about this here? And I'd go, I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
we have that quite a lot between us.
That's a really good point, especially when you've worked with him for so long. So when I started doing the pattern perception stuff, he's really intrinsic in me taking this from like just weird song ideas to actually getting it finished.
Yeah.
Because he knows me so well, you know, and like, because we've both got a real sort of like, you know, love of left field and, you know, other music, we've got a similar taste. And because he's worked in the studio with me for like 20 years plus, he knows what I'm trying to get at and stuff.
He's very good with his clients like that.
Definitely, yeah. I'd say he's one of the
we
best.
do
mate,
obviously the bass dominator stuff together. And the bass dominator stuff, even though he does other bass line stuff with like Dave Slapford with the Unlawful DJs, it sounds different.
It does, yeah.
Even though it's the same genre,
Yeah.
you can tell which ones Dave sat in with and which ones I've sat in with.
Mine's different.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Riggs as well.
you work with Riggs, yeah.
My tunes are Riggs.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, I didn't know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's mad, actually, because I wouldn't have said that. You know, after listening to your music, I wouldn't have...
Not all of them, only recently.
Yeah, the one you sent, Riggs sent the other day...
CRW.
CRW.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant
Yeah,
track.
that's me Riggs.
Really good version of that is. Yeah. I was listening to that.
I've done about 4 or 5.
Yeah, something like that in the last
4 or 5 with Riggs in the last
last
couple
few
of weeks.
weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll have to send them in, man. Fucking... You ain't sent to me.
The baseline ones will be going on Criminal, and the house
is it?
ones we're going to fire up a label called Pink Chimp, which Wayne started a while ago, but didn't really do nothing with it, did you?
No.
So that's going to come into play. So any of the house productions he does will go on there,
Yeah, I'd look forward to hearing them, actually. Yeah.
and then any of the baseline stuff will most likely be on Criminal anyway. So
Okay.
first track.
I need to
Did
take my
you-
glass off, mate. I'm steaming up here, man.
Yeah, carry on, man. You got the bug for it after then.
Yeah.
Once you knock that first one out.
Yeah, I think so. Seeing how easy he does it, you know, and it is an easy kind of process as someone who's what you call a producer going into a studio with an engineer.
Yeah.
But you then start to think about things like a little bit more laterally. You start thinking, oh, maybe I could use this vocal, or maybe I could take something of this riff, come to Riggs with it, and then develop a track. And then I think I did another one after that, and then I did probably the biggest track that I did in Hard House, which was a remix of Cardigans. What was it called? I forgot what the fucking track was called now. Oh my god, there's one memory just gone blank.
This
happens.
This happens.
My,
Yeah, we
my,
said
my,
that
my
together.
favourite game. Do you remember
Yeah.
my favourite game? by the Cardigans?
Yeah.
So we did a Hard House version of that, and it went really well. It went out on vinyl, got second press, I think 2 or 3 times, third press, and then it just went down really well. You know, it was, But then again, that was, you know, going back to the point where I was listening to loads of different music. So I was applying stuff that I had outside of
From
Hard
other
House and
genres.
bringing in Hard
Yeah,
House.
But that's what a lot of producers lack.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know what I
so.
mean? Like, especially in like some scenes, well, pretty much, even if like you go back to UKG, Speed Garage, UK Funky, or whatever, it's always
You've got to have some
Same.
influence from somewhere else, otherwise it all sounds the same.
Definitely,
yeah.
Standout tracks are normally
Definitely.
influenced by another genre.
100%. Yeah,
That's how I've always looked at it.
I'm a big fan of Rick Rubin. I don't know if you know Rick Rubin. So he's he's kind of like one of the top producers in America. Who I can't remember exactly what he's done now. He's done like a lot of Def Jam records, and he's done a lot of rock records.
Okay.
But he's more of a kind of music philosopher than anything. And like he'll say himself, he doesn't play any instrument. He even doesn't really know how to be that technical with the DAWs. But he's in his mentality, he's a producer, so he comes with the ideas, and he's got so diverse ideas because of his taste in music
Yeah.
that he applies them to, you know, say you've got a hip hop artist coming in, he'll apply stuff from like say folk music or like some sort of stuff from like even like the 1940s, and he'll say whack that in there and see how that sounds, and it'll give it a completely new dynamic. And he's one of the most successful producers that we have on the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not watching Rick Rubin,
Yeah.
Rick
Okay.
Rubin, yeah.
I'll definitely have a
Big old
mention.
bearded wizard looking guy, man. But he's fucking really spot on, like with his kind of philosophy behind music and.
Right. Yeah. I'll definitely check out Rick Rubin then later on today.
I want to hear about this album that I've not heard, but Mickey's heard 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
So so we've gone from Hard House producing then. When did you decide you wanted to produce something like the album that you've just released?
So it started in lockdown.
Yeah.
So like obviously I've been working with Riggs for probably about 20 years on various different tracks, and you know I'd go in there. He'd always be the guy on the keys, engineering it. And although like I'd come out of it feeling like, you know, this is my track, I've had, you know, a substantial amount of influence on it.
Yeah.
I'd always wanted to kind of just, you know, compose myself.
Be the person to put the idea down.
Yeah, not for any other reason. That I think some of the ideas you've got, even though you've got someone as good as Riggs who knows exactly what you want, until you do it yourself,
Yeah.
you really can't experiment and get stuff, you know, like you would do if you were experimenting. And I think that's the key to it, really. So
Yeah.
when lockdown hit, I was in level 5 of my undergraduate then, so things were a little bit slowed down with how university was. So I was doing my uni stuff on side, but because we had so much free time, I thought this is dangerous for me because I know what I'm like. Like I would become an alcoholic now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I did to a certain
Too much free
extent.
time, weren't it?
Yeah,
Lockdown.
it's too much, and like I had a little bit of money stacked behind me at the time, not a lot, but I probably had about 10 grand, and I thought this is the prime opportunity for me to go and buy a decent PC, Ableton, get all the kit, and just get to work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so I did that straight away. Got on it, and then I just started like, you know, just fucking about really. But the first thing that I started doing, and I see this in a lot of other people, is when you start making music, you're already trying to compare yourself to what other people are doing, and you like. I remember the first things that I sent. I'm blessed Riggs, man, for like, you know, entertaining them and stuff. And my mate Sam Town, and like I sent them some stuff, man, and it must have sounded like fucking pots and pans falling down a fucking staircase, mate. It was,
But we all start somewhere.
yeah. But they entertained it, and they said, you know, they kind of like, oh yeah, this is good, you know. Look, they give me constructive criticism. So I did that for a while, and then I started trying to make music which would potentially be signed to a label. So I was trying to do stuff like the Untidy dub sound, so like maybe 130 to 135, slowed down, more chunky hard house sound.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I like this sound. I'll try and make stuff to that, but I just wasn't cutting it. You know what I mean? It just wasn't quite there. And this went on for probably about 12 months. And then Sam approached me. He went, look, he said, your music's good. I can see the potential there. He said, what about you take on a course with Tidy Pro? So Tidy Tracks were doing this Tidy Pro course. It was like a 12-week course with BK and Lee Haslam. And they teach you the fundamentals of dance music production.
Yep.
So it's predominantly for hard house music. So again, it's a 12-week course. And start with the foundations of kick. You know how you get the kick and the bass sounding right, how you get like sound selection and whatnot. Did that for the first few weeks, and every week you get homework. You send the track back to them, and they give you feedback. First 4 weeks, I just wasn't getting it. I was like, "Fucking hell, this is difficult." And I was getting the feedback from them. They were like, "Oh, it's not quite right," you know, this and the other. And then like week 5, something just clicked, you know, and like I sent back week 5, and they were like, he said, "What's happened over the last week?" Like, you know, it's like it's gone from like really not getting it to getting it, and it was because of the understanding of how electronic music composition has to work, the foundations of it.
Yeah.
You can apply it to anything. One of the things that they taught in the course is you use reference tracks. So you get a track that you think might sound something like, you know, what you want to produce, and you'll then sort of tailor your sound or the sound design that you're making to the sound design of the track that you're referencing.
Yeah.
And I think I can see the value in that. I can see it's a really good way of learning how to get a certain sound. So I did that and I followed it. And but what I did find throughout the process, it's the only thing that I would say that I didn't take on from what I learned there, is that using a reference track really stifles what you're potentially able to do, because you're
Comparing it.
You're comparing
Trying
it.
to match it, yeah.
You're trying to match it to a certain key and a certain tempo.
Yeah.
But the thing with reference tracks, it's like what we were just talking about, Massive Attack.
Yeah.
Have one of them as your reference track, you'll never be happy with your work.
Never, no.
Because
no.
it's never going to be.
Yeah.
I ain't saying it's never going to be as good, but the likelihood of matching something that they've produced.
I mean, I guarantee you now that they've never used a reference track.
Definitely
They've
not.
just literally, boom, gone.
Gone
You
and
know,
done what they've got to do,
It's all like the rawness, the emotion of what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys in that band, they're composite musicians, you know what I mean? So they've got years of experience and musical knowledge, but I'll go to the Brighton Music Conference now because the record label are based down there, and they've invited me down the last couple of years. And one of the things
It was the
You
record
jumped
label.
because I was waiting to ask that question. He's already
Have I jumped
dropped
ahead?
that bomb.
Have I
Nice one for fucking it up.
sorry,
Don't worry, carry on. It was the record label.
I was going to say, from all this, have you led to any signings? To give you that, you say, well, yeah, fun enough. But
sorry.
you fucked it now, so you might as well just crack on.
Yeah, the record label. So I'm signed to a label called Out Your Box. They're a sister label to the main label, which is Jack Said What, which are a house label.
Who runs that?
It's run by, so I don't know if you know Irving Welsh,
Yeah.
the author of Train Spotting.
Yeah.
Steve Mack, who fucking hardly needs any introduction in the dance music scene, and Carl Loban, who's the editor of DJ Mag. So collectively, I mean, these
Quite a nice collective
they're
of
I was
people there then.
very, very lucky to have met these guys, and it was all by chance, really, how I got in touch with them. But Rob Miller's kind of the daddy of the group. He's the kind of the silent guy in the background.
Okay.
I don't know if I should have mentioned your name there, Rob, but he likes to lurk in the shadows. But Rob used to be in bands, and he's managed bands and whatnot. He kind of heard my music just on the off chance, really.
Yeah.
And then he put a comment on this demo show. I need this guy to send me some more music, so I sent them about 15 tracks, and they took 10 of them.
Wow.
And then that was about maybe 18 months, a bit longer ago, and I didn't really kind of realise who they were at the time, to the extent of who they were. So the label's only been going for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
But because of their collective musical experience and what they've been involved with,
I imagine they've got a bit of a rapid growth on it, though. Considering who they are and the contacts they'd have within the industry.
They know everybody. They're all massively respected in their own rights.
Yeah.
And they're only doing this because they want to put out music that they believe in.
Yeah.
So when I've listened to the stuff that's come out previously on Out Your Box, and I've listened to people like Scott Booth, Third Bloom, Evil Tom, and I've listened to it and I've gone, this is fucking my sort of music, man. I couldn't have imagined a better label to be on board with if I'd tried.
Yeah.
You know, so I've heard what they put out, all completely credible, very very left field in its like essence of the style of music, and I've thought to myself, I've landed on my feet here. You know.
Okay. So tell us about your album. So if somebody goes onto Spotify now and searches Pattern Perception, Spectrum Disorder,
Yeah.
what are they going to hear?
Um,
What sort of styles are they going to hear within the album? Because you said you've gone a bit left field with it, so I'd imagine they're not all the same sort of genre.
Yeah, it's quite mixed. I mean, it's partially one of the reasons why I called it Spectrum Disorder, because it is quite a spectrum of electronic music. But yeah, I think the album is essentially like, it's an audible version of me having a mental breakdown throughout lockdown. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all the sort of turmoil that was going on associated with it. You know, what I tried to. I mean, the tracks that you're going to hear on there are tracks that I wrote 3 or 4 years ago now, and I find it weird because when I first started using Ableton, say One More Hit, which is probably the standout track from the album that people have got behind, that was probably the 6th track that I ever even made.
I'm going to be honest, man, it's fucking immense.
It's mad, isn't it? It's
One
a
More
mad,
Hit's
I
immense
don't
track.
even know how I made that. The thing, right, the mad thing with that track is, so Mark Rebellet. Have you heard of Mark Rebellet?
Yes,
the
the
geezer
guy
who
who
does
does the piano.
yeah,
and-
massively talented bloke,
Yeah.
right? Especially like piano wise, he's like a classically trained pianist. So I was listening to one of his live streams in lockdown, and he just started playing this riff, and I thought, "Fucking, I'm robbing that." You know what I mean? So I just robbed it, did a 16-bar loop and looped it, put it into Ableton before I even knew what the fuck I was doing in Ableton. Really, I right clicked it and I saw you can extract harmonies. So I was like, that I'd never be able to play that. Right, it took me a decade to learn how to play like
Yeah.
that. So what I've done is I've extracted the harmonies, and then I've like grabbed like Arturia synth, one of these like really sort of like moogie sort of synths, and just like put a synth over the top of it, so it's like belt on again. I thought, oh, that sounds good. And then like I've got some strings, and I've gone, that sounds even better, and like I've just done that, and then I've just left the track, and I've just completely forgot about it. And then like months later, I was doing something that I was going to speak about DMT on this.
Yeah,
we will.
of course.
Okay, I'll leave that till later. Then I'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
So you were indulged.
I was indulged.
He was indulged.
You
I was
had a
indulged.
creative mind on.
I was indulged, and I must have had some stuff playing like a lot on my computer, and like I've come out of the trip and I've gone, what the fuck is that playing? Like, obviously because I haven't played the keys, Mark Rebellet's played it. I've had to pull myself out of the bed and go, what the fuck is that playing now? And I've looked at it, it's my track, and I've gone, no way have I made that. And like because I've had that opportunity to listen to it completely objectively, without knowing it's mine or anything like that, and I realised that's got something.
Yeah,
about it
sometimes
that
producers are their own worst enemies, aren't they?
yeah, because you can overthink it. You can
Yeah.
really overthink it. And because I've had that opportunity to like just hear it like for what it was, I've thought I need to go back to that track and work on it.
Work on it a bit.
Yeah, but
Just a quick question. I'm going to go off topic a little bit here, but one thing you haven't done, or we haven't done, is you said you've been in the music industry for what, 20 years, making music or whatever, out and about doing stuff for Hard House and that. But Pattern Perception's only recent.
yeah.
What other names have you used?
So I started under Dave the Elf years ago. Dave the Elf.
The fuck out of here.
Dave the Elf. Yeah.
Dave the Elf, yeah, that's when I've first met you.
Was he?
That was how I was known on the Hard House scene. Yeah, Dave the Elf. Yeah.
Dave from
Anything
Birmingham.
else?
Dave from Birmingham.
No, Dave from Birmingham as a new one. Lefty. I used to produce the name Lefty. As
I
well.
know he's lefty. Yeah.
Yeah, I did some stuff with Riggsy under Dart Funk. We started Dart Funk together years
Yeah.
ago, and then Riggs carried that on. I think that's about it. There probably is more that I forgot about.
So where did the name Pattern Perception come from?
Yeah, because that's random as fuck.
It is random, innit? Yeah, but it's got like a nice like hook to it, hasn't it? You know what I mean? It's like when people hear it, they've generally not heard those two words put together before.
Yeah. See, I thought maybe it's come from a DMT trip.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because it's patterns.
Partially
you do
has,
see
yeah.
patterns when you're on them trips,
Yeah.
don't you? So
It's kind of a culmination of two things. So yeah, there's that one side of it which is to do with the patterns I've visualised on the experiences that I've had, but also with what I do for work. So the research I work in is cognitive psychology, and there's a cognitive mechanism which we possess called pattern perception, and
Okay.
it's basically our not only us, but every other species on the planet.
Oh, I thought it was an original term you made up. You just fucked it now.
See, right
There we
now,
go. He just took us something from work.
me and Riggs were doing a few house bits years and years ago, and we did a remix for Dave on Echo, and our guys there was Greer and Shulgin.
I love that, mate. That's such
And
a
everyone
cool
used to
name,
be
mate.
going, what's that mean? What is Greer and Shulgin?
You did some fantastic tunes like that, mate. as
So
well.
who
Yeah.
who do you know as Greer and Shulgin?
So Greer and Shulgin were pioneers of the psychedelic acid. Like Alexander Shulgin was one of the
Ecstasy as well.
Ecstasy,
They were the pioneers of ecstasy.
yeah, man.
So we called ourselves Greer and Shulgin. It was
Yeah.
I know it was Alexander Shulgin.
Alexander Shulgin was the acid guy.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the first name of the other one.
Yeah, I can't
But it
remember,
was
yeah.
George Greer or something like that.
Yeah, it's a wicked name. That is.
And that's
man.
what we
Yeah,
used,
it's a
Greer and
wicked name.
Shulgin.
Press
Yeah,
spin
it's-
back, please. Do you know what that spin back means?
We went off topic.
We've gone way off
Okay,
topic.
right.
So, put your glasses back on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right, come on.
And let's get back to the album.
So yeah, go on the album. The album mixture of genres on there. What would you say you cover on there?
So I don't know, mate. It's, I always,
See, to me, it's
I
just
hate this question.
Is it that
man.
broad
Yeah.
scale?
Yeah, it's
That you
just-
can't even
to
say
me, it's
so?
just all left field type stuff. It's just off centre.
You'd call it. You'd
Electronic.
broadly call it electronic. I'd say.
That's what I'd call
So
it.
like some of the tracks, they'll start off with like what you when people classify a track, they generally go off the beat structure, don't they? So
Yes.
it's like dubstep or if it's house or whatever. So there's a number of tracks in there that will start off with one sort of tempo or beat structure, and they'll get something else. So what I had to laugh at it the other day. Like I had some PR stuff done from the label. And I don't know who it was that written it. They said that it's the album is a culmination of. Imagine if you had Massive Attack and early Ronnie Size come out of a wellness retreat.
Wow.
I was like,
Don't talk about wellness retreats.
We spoke about that the other week.
Wellness retreats, man.
I was like,
Vegan
that's brilliant.
wellness retreats.
That's brilliant. But I could see what they were saying with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like it's I just broadly call it electronic music, man.
Yeah, I think that the electronic coin just covers it all,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so, man.
Definitely.
I don't think you need to categorize stuff anymore, man. You know, I mean, if you're a purist and you're doing a techno album and you've got a techno audience, then
Fair
all right,
enough,
fair
yeah.
play.
Yeah,
Techno
there's
album.
so much now.
Yeah.
It's this style, this style, this style, this style house, this style house.
Oh, it fucking annoys
He
me,
just
mate.
says it's house.
It's house.
Yeah, man.
It's just house music.
It's house.
I-
Tech
I-
house.
I-
Deep house. It's house.
I think back to some of the albums that really sort of influenced me, like Massive Attack. Say
Yeah.
you couldn't sort of class like one track. Say you heard like Bittersweet Symphony on there. You know,
Yeah.
you heard like
Some of them you can't even give them a category.
yeah, you
They're just
can't-
electronic music.
They're just electronic, aren't they? Yeah, and so, yeah, it's. I think that's kind of what's been beautiful over the last few years, with the boundaries have broken down again. So people are making stuff, which conventionally wouldn't be what the label would allow them to do.
Yeah.
I've been lucky with this label because they've allowed me just to do what the fuck I want.
I think what's lucky with digital as well is labels, bigger labels, will take a punt on people, whereas when it was vinyl and they had to put an initial big outlay out, they weren't taking that punt on people. Did you just knock that mic again?
I did, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, back
Dong. And he was like in horror with a bottle of
was
water,
me.
like we
It
called
was
him.
me.
Then like you come down,
Yeah,
like we
you-
weren't going to look.
You were like-
we both looked at the same time. And he went, oh. Make sure when you edit this video, you put that look in.
I'll leave that bit in. Yeah, so
Oh shit, man.
So the same. Back in the day, labels wouldn't take punts, especially on new artists. I found I was sending my stuff to a lot of labels in Hard House, and it was always it's all right, but and I know what the but was. The but was no one's heard of you,
Yeah.
so I'm not spending this money pressing X amount of vinyl to push when I can just take the same thing off somebody who's already established and put that out.
That's what I rate about you, though, Mick, because you used to take a punt. You did, mate.
I'll take a punt on everybody,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah, 'cause-
I don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
Didn't you
Like
do
I
some
said,
organ stuff that he's had?
You put some stuff out on Nil by Mouth, didn't you?
Yeah, I put some over the hard house stuff out on Neil Boy
Yeah,
Mouth,
but-
but I took a punt on some people where I knew the big labels weren't because they were making music and they weren't sending it to me first. It's obviously gone to them, and it's been knocked back. And I'm listening to it going, nah, that's a fucking good tune, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, just because his name's XYZ, you
but
can't put it out.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
And I've
Everybody
always been
deserves
like
a
that.
chance.
I've always been, if if it's good, it's good. I don't care if fucking Roger Sanchez has made it or some kid who lives fucking 4 doors down. If it's a good piece of music, it's a good piece of music, and I'll take a risk on it. And I always did that with my labels.
So, on that note, I think it's time we have a quick break.
Do you want a quick break?
Are we going to put a tune in? For
We are,
halftime?
and it's going to be Pattern Perception, I Go Higher, which was the first release I put out since we relaunched Criminal.
Which is what I love.
You like
That's
that,
one of the
yeah?
tunes that I play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Is
what I'm
it?
saying. When I say I play your tunes, I'm not fucking lying.
No way, I didn't.
Yeah, so I've got obviously
When he says he's not a yam yam, he's fucking he's lying.
nah.
That's when he is lying.
So your organy stuff.
Yeah.
I'll play.
Yeah, okay.
Get out there.
Well, I got some more stuff like that then for you. Yeah. Which
Oh yeah, give me all the stuff that you don't want to know. Stuff. Yeah. Sound. Anyway, enjoy the tune. This is Pattern Perception. I Go Higher.
I said again, I go higher. It's all on you, but I won't give it up. All the things I said again. Did you presume I couldn't do this? You're the one who made me try. Didn't hold my hand, but always by my side. You're my constant in a world that's so demanding. In the sky, but now we're landing. Oh, we never could just. Our boys will be hurt. Now it's only time to learn. We just want to be free. Our boys will be hurt. It's all on you.
Welcome back to the Ranting and Raving podcast with myself, Wayne Scott Fox, and Mickey Williams, and of course today's special guest, known as Dave the Elf, Lefty, Dave from Birmingham, but currently known as Pattern Perception.
What did you think of that track then, in the breakdown?
Well, he made it, so he knows what it is.
Well, he knows what it is. I'm not asking him. I'm asking the audience.
Oh, right, okay. What do you think?
What
Did
did
you
you
enjoy
think of that track? Did you enjoy it? Because I think it's a fucking absolute banger.
Banger. I'll play that.
Hence why I signed it. Hence why it's on my label.
Yeah, so how are we going to, because normally, because obviously Dave's here, we're not going to do all the stuff that we normally do. We are going to touch on some other things. So we're going to have a little bit more discussion, but off topic of music, I believe.
Yeah, I believe we briefly touched on something called DMT in the first part of the show.
Okay, so
And what we're going to do is we're going to let Dave explain a little bit about what DMT is.
I was going to say that is the question. What is DMT?
And, you know, if Dave tells us what it is and what benefits you can have from taking it, and also, yeah,
Everything.
What sort of trips do you get from it as well?
Pros and cons, and
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll say just outright is I'm not promoting the use of drugs with anything like this.
No, nor do we.
Yeah.
I say it every week. I don't promote drugs, but I had a fucking great time.
talking about I'm pilled off my head in the club. Don't take drugs.
Don't take drugs though, but
Yeah,
when I did it, it was fucking great.
I personally wouldn't classify it in the same sort of region as other drugs like, cocaine, weed and whatnot.
Is it classed as a drug though?
It
Has
is.
it got a category?
It's a Class A, Class A controlled substance.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
it's still very, in the eyes of the law, it's up there.
Why?
I mean, there's a few reasons why potentially it might be, because it can give you these profound experiences where it's the kind of reality shattering in some respects. And maybe they don't want people to be having those experiences.
So I've never done DMT, but I've heard about it, and I was told that DMT kind of like takes you out of your body
Yeah.
into a whole new experience.
Yeah. It's not like, I mean, say people who've done other, what we call classical psychedelics like mushrooms or acid, the experience is categorized by, you'll have visual disturbances and, things will become more you'll become more aware of your environment based on the visual response that you're having. Plus, you'll have like an emotional response to it as well with these conventional psychedelics. Mushrooms more so than acid. I'd say acid is a bit more visual.
Acid is hallucinogenic, isn't it?
It's
more
a
than-
nightmare, and the come down of acid is absolutely exceptional.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of acid. I've done it a number of times throughout my life. I much prefer mushrooms. I think they're a much more grounded experience, and you feel kind of more at one with nature, and it's more comfortable experience, I believe. Not to say you can't have bad experiences with mushrooms, because you can. Generally, these are
Just pull that way. That way. That's
sorry,
it, that's
mate.
it. Let's go.
Yeah, generally these are like when people are in the sort of wrong environments and wrong setting when they're taking them. But
Yeah.
if you're aware of sort of what they can do, they can be really, really beneficial for people. DMT, the difference with DMT, it's unlike any other compound that we know of on the planet. It's like you've literally just been taken out of your environment here and plonked into a new universe, which is sometimes more real than me and you speaking now to each
Yeah.
other. It feels more real. What we know in research from DMT, conventionally, the idea behind what DMT was and where it was produced, they thought it was produced in the pineal gland in the brain.
I was going to say that. Isn't it a chemical that the brain produces?
It is. So, like, the new research has kind of like thrown that kind of idea out. So we've now understood in rat brains that it's produced on a neuronal level. So, like in your neurons is.
Mate, all these rats getting high for free
I
makes
know,
me
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
jealous.
They're
It
lucky
makes me
bastards,
jealous, man.
Lucky bastards. But yeah, so if it is produced on a neuronal level and it's endogenous, that it's produced naturally in our bodies. If it's produced on a neuronal level, it should have some protective function on the brain, same as serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, oxytocin. So these are all neurotransmitters which have some adaptive function. Otherwise they wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So we've seen that in rat brains now. So there must be some reason that it's there. Plus, our receptor sites in our brain are almost perfectly bonded to it. So the serotonin 5-HT2A receptor, which is one of the prime receptor sites in the visual cortex and emotional regulation, is primed for DMT.
Yes.
So when you have this experience, and the thing about DMT is it's when you smoke it freebase, it's like 0 to 1,000 straight away. There's like you're literally sitting here 1 minute, next minute everything's gone blah, 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 disappeared, and you're talking to God.
Yeah.
That's when you.
I found that with the vape form when I tried it in the vape form.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
1 minute I was there and I was vaping, and the next minute I was fucking completely somewhere else.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
But
I didn't even know there was people in the same room as me.
The beauty of the vape, though, you can moderate the level of experience you get to. So you can have one big hit off it, and you'll see like the colour change, and everything will become like cartoon Lego land.
Yeah.
You'll do a second one, close your eyes, and you'll see this sort of like mandala form in front of you, and all these fractals. And then you hit the third one, and then you're literally in a different universe, and you're talking to these deities. And
Yeah, I did
know,
it. And I went to the toilet. So I walked out of the room that I was in.
Have you done it?
DMT, yeah, in the vape form.
I ain't done that.
I walked out the one room, went to the toilet, and everything in the toilet was like a mini Minecraft. It was all cubed.
Yeah.
The toilet was cubed. The fucking shelves were cubed. The flowers and the pots on the shelf, all cubed.
It
was mental.
Are mushrooms and DMT, and this is just me asking a general question, is it the same as like alcohol where if you're happy, you'll be happy. If you're sad, it'll make you sadder. And if you're angry, it'll make you angrier?
I don't think so. I mean, through my experience with it, with mushrooms, you can't really tell what experience you're going to get from it, depending on the dosage and where you are. With DMT, there's no emotion tied to it. You know,
It's just a trip side, isn't it?
It's like you've been plonked into another universe. You've completely got your mind about you. You know what I mean? You're completely aware of everything yourself. You know who you are, but you don't physically exist anymore. It's like you've been just chucked into another universe.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's mental, mate. It's mental.
See, that's the
You
thing.
know, Interstellar.
Yeah.
When the books fall off the fucking bookcase at the end, and he's in that extra dimension. It's a bit like that.
See, that's the kind of question I always have when it comes to not necessarily, because we all know what drugs, the standard drugs out there like coke and pills and that. We all know what we're getting into out there, and even with alcohol. And I am the kind of person, when I have a drink, if I'm sad, I'll get sadder.
Yeah.
If I'm angry, I'm getting angrier. And if I'm happy, I'm buzzing my tits off.
Yeah.
But with mushrooms and DMT, what's striking my curiosity more than anything is, one is that, like you've already said, your mental capacity doesn't have any influence on what happens. But is there a come down from them?
No.
DMT, the only thing you
Again-
come down
again,
from is the actual trip.
Yeah.
Within about
and
20
it's-
minutes, you're back in the zone, aren't you?
10, 20 minutes, you're completely fine. And the come down from it is really sort of gentle, and you kind of feel really just at one with the universe. To be fair, it feels very natural, which is considering how unnatural the feeling is when you first go into that mad place. The come down off it is very, very natural, and it just like puts you back into your environment. You know, it's really.
Do you remember when
gentle.
you did?
Hang on. Because
Go on.
Because I think the closest thing I've ever got to,
I was just going to tell you.
the closest thing I've ever done to something like that is salvia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there are some commonalities between salvia and DMT.
That fucked me up.
They're both super potent, psychedelics, almost on par with each other, I'd say, in terms of the level of experience you can get to. However, salvia is, and I've done salvia with Riggs before, and it's I don't know if I should have said that.
Yeah, Riggs.
Too late
Yeah,
now.
Get off the
Riggs.
salvia, Riggs.
You
No, you fucking
got me into
tunes.
drugs, mate. You fucker. But no, there's a stark difference between the feeling you get from it. DMT, all anyone ever experiences is love and warmth. You know, whereas salvia is quite dark. Experience.
Maybe they should give some of these fucking world leaders some DMT,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
we'll all be all right.
100%. I say this to people, like I struggle to respect anybody's opinion unless they've been to the other side. You
And
know
done
what I
it,
mean?
yeah.
I think my question is then, do you think that the likes of DMT and psilocybin should be out there for the correct reason as to be legalized like cannabis?
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for it. I think.
Why?
Yeah. So
Benefits, not the trip side thing. We're all having a fucking laugh when we're away with the fairies.
Yeah.
What benefits are there? Because obviously they know THC gets you stoned, but CBD helps.
So the research is overwhelmingly supportive for psychedelics. They're the safest drugs on the planet that we know of. There's almost zero deaths associated to them. One thing that psychedelics do, they do increase your heart rate. So and also people who are prone to like schizophrenia, they should really avoid taking them because it can exacerbate problems. But yeah, they're called, what's it called? God, I can't remember what the word is.
Cardiovascular.
vasco. Doesn't matter what the word is.
Yeah.
They sort of tighten your veins and capillaries and whatnot, like you do with cocaine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so if you've got high blood pressure, it's always it would be worth consulting your doctor. But at the moment, the doctors aren't allowed to say, yeah, you can do DMT. They just have no understanding of it. The research is overwhelmingly supportive of it, especially if used in the right circumstances with sort of therapeutic.
I have read a few articles where they're using the mushrooms to treat depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
How far has the research gone on that?
So they've done, which is what we consider in research the sort of highest type of research study design. It's called a double-blind placebo trial, and it's basically you've got two groups. The participants don't know what group they're in, nor do the researchers, so it can't be influenced.
Okay.
You'll have one group which is a placebo group, so they're taking something which is said to be something which is nothing at all. It just might be
Like button mushrooms.
yeah. So they might have a button mushroom, and then you've got the experimenter group, which are the ones who are taking the actual compound. And we've seen through clinical trials, there's a really interesting documentary on BBC called The Psychedelic Study by a guy called Robin Carhart Harris. What they found is after one experience or one dose of psilocybin, they're overwhelmingly more effective than conventional antidepressants or SSRIs like citalopram, which you need to take daily.
And that's dangerous stuff,
It
citalopram.
can be because you develop.
Citalopram is dangerous. That's what I was on.
So you've got lived experience with it. It's got a very flattened effect, hasn't it? So like
Citalopram for me made me feel a bit like a zombie.
Yeah.
And all my hair started falling out.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay. Yeah. I've heard it affects libido as well. So there's a whole lot of associated, problems with stuff like this, and the psychiatric establishment, they haven't conventionally been able to really understand how these SSRIs work. We know that it stops some reuptake of serotonin in the synaptic cleft. However, what the mushrooms do and other classical psychedelics, they have this more interconnected ability to put the brain into a state where it kind of shakes it up. And so when these neural pathways become rigid over time, like so one of the things that's consistent with depression, people have these narrowed neural pathways. So say you're someone who is clinically depressed, you'll think something and the outcome will always be this negative outcome where you can't get out of it. What neurogenesis does, and we've found that classical psychedelics do this in abundance, they promote neurogenesis, they promote the growth of new neural pathways. So when you get into that end line result where, I want to kill myself, or I can't see a way out of this, you might then have 5 other pathways which might have just developed, and you're going, actually, there is another way. Yeah. And that's the kind of the essence of why they might be so effective, especially used with therapeutic interventions.
Like I stated earlier in the podcast, I suffered with PTSD, manic depressive disorder, excuse me, and anxiety. And I know on first hand, psilocybin works. It works 100% because it's there. It is a cure. 100%. I am living proof it is cure. Right? Antidepressants are a suppressive. It's not curing you. It's just suppressing the problem. It's never ever gonna go. You're on them for life.
But they don't want it to go big farmers because they make the money on the antidepressants, don't they?
Exactly.
And I think that's what they're scared of because the mushrooms, they don't cost as much as the pills, do they?
They don't. I mean,
and I think that's what they're scared of and why they don't want it to come to the forefront of medication.
There's cures for cancer if you want to start going down that path. But my point is, I took psilocybin along with lion's mane mushrooms, vitamin D3, K2, and CBD. And it took some playing around with the right amount to take. Sometimes I took too much and I was a bit of a mess. Sometimes I didn't take enough. But when I found that balance and I was taking I managed to put them in capsules. I was taking 2 capsules every other day. That every other day then went to once a week.
Okay.
That once a week went to once a month to nothing.
See, that's really... I found that fascinating when you mentioned that to me earlier because the issue is you've had to find it out yourself, you know what I mean? And you've had to find it through experience of trial and error. If there was, we could have it decriminalised in this country where you'd have medical professionals who know the right doses to take and they could say, they they treat individuals on their own merit and based on the circumstances they're in and what's going on with them, and they can say, right, this is your dosage, this is what you need to take. You would completely eradicate all of this trial and error stuff, which can, in some cases could probably lead to harm with people.
Look, it's a big thing these days, men's mental health. It's a huge thing these days. And imagine if we had this facility like I've done, where somebody's there to say, right, let's look at your case. How bad are you? And they make an assessment on that. Right, you may need 2 grams, 1 gram, or whatever it is. Imagine what people you could help and save.
Yeah.
From a fucking mushroom that grows in a field here in the UK.
Well, they'll be able to grow them in labs as well, won't they? Obviously,
Yeah.
If it becomes something that we use,
So
on a big scale, they can just make a lab and
So
grow it in a lab.
So as far as mushrooms are concerned, we're fully in agreement, and I'm all for supporting of psilocybin for treating depression and stuff. What I'm intrigued to know is what DMT can do. What kind of thing is that the same kind of thing for depression and stuff as well? It's like similar to mushrooms, but again, is it how much do you need to take? Because if you take too many mushrooms, you're a hippie in a field loving life.
Yeah.
If you take enough, it can cure you.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's why it was banned. Originally, it was legal, and then they thought, "Hang on, look at this fucking lot here."
Mate, everything's legal until you start having fun on it. And
So-
then
Would-
then they ban it.
So I think the question is: would DMT be need to use in microscopic scales in order to enhance cognitive function or whatever else in all your neurons, or is it the case of no, fucking take it, go away with the fairies, and you'll come back with a clear mind?
It's a different one with DMT because again, this is another one that's been studied now. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear that they've allowed like places like Imperial College London and King's College. They're doing active experimentation into these compounds. There's a researcher who I really, if you're into this sort of stuff, suggest you follow him. His name's Andrew Gallimore, Dr. Andrew Gallimore, and he's developed. He's part of this study called DMT-X, where DMT, because when you vape it or smoke it, the compound is a monoamine. So what happens? Your body breaks down monoamine so quickly, your liver does, because they can be quite harmful to the body if they're not broken down. So what you've heard of ayahuasca, I imagine?
Yeah. Ayahuasca.
So ayahuasca is the active compound in ayahuasca is DMT, but when it's drank or when it's consumed orally, they have a monoamine oxidase inhibitor with it, which is a different kind of vine that they find in the jungle. And what happens is you have an extended experience with DMT. Although it's not as intense as smoking it, it's very profound for a lot of people. It's like a journey sort of thing where you have shamans who have to guide you through stuff. What Andrew Gallimore's started developing is this thing called DMT-X, where you can put people intravenously on DMT. And because we know it's so safe for the body, it's like it's not harmful at all because it's naturally produced. We know that we can keep people in suspended states of the DMT experience. So what they're trying to do now is map out that alternate universal reality or whatever it may be.
I watched something about that on Netflix where they were putting them in a room and then mapping out what they were seeing in this other dimension.
Yeah, it's the
And
experience.
there was so many people having the same.
Same strips, yeah. That's
Imagine like popping up in the Minecraft game, but you're in his Minecraft game.
Yeah.
Everything that he's put down in there, you map it out the same in your trip.
That's one of the things
Mental,
I
that is.
find really hard to deny about it, because I mean I was an atheist from the age of 12 years old and didn't believe in God. Although I was brought up with a Catholic family, I didn't believe in it. And the first time I did DMT, I had this like experience where what I was confronted with, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was God, right? And so I've come out of this experience, and it's changed my whole ideology. I've not gone super religious or anything, but I've gone from being an atheist to an agnostic, yeah. And like the second experience I had with it, like Hindus believe in like they've got thousands of gods, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh, right, okay.
No, they've got one god. They call
Brahma, isn't it? Yeah.
Murders or martyrs or something.
Yeah. They're all divinations of the same.
Yeah, I've got a Hindu guy at work, and I said to him, "How many gods do you worship?"
Yeah.
He went, "One."
Yeah.
I said, "So what are all these gods of the sea and food?" He went, "They're not gods." And he did say the word. I do apologise. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, you're completely right with that.
I have to say that because somebody will pipe up. What's he talking about?
I didn't realise this until obviously I've had it explained to me by a guy who's a Hindu. Billy from the Q Club. Years ago when I had this experience. So I did DMT and I'm sitting there, and in front of me out of nowhere it's this like blue four-armed figure, tongue sticking out its head and snakes going out its head like that. It's terrifying but beautiful. So I've opened my eyes, terrified. I'm looking at my mate next to me. He's like going, I'm going to talk to these like aliens beneath the ground. And I've gone, I'll just leave him. So I've closed my eyes again. It's boom, back there, like that. Right. So I didn't know what I'd seen at the time. So it was only months later. I happened to be scrolling through his magazine, and I've seen this picture of this thing, and I'm like, that's fucking exactly what I've seen. So I've gone to Billy. I found out it's a Hindu god. I've gone, Billy. I've gone like, what's this I've seen? And he's like, it's took him back. He's gone, what did you see? I said that. And he said, you've experienced a thing called darshan. And I went, I said, I don't know what that is. He said, like in Hindu religion, like what they do is they repeat these mantras throughout their whole life in the hope that one day they might get visited or have some experience with one of these deities. You know what I mean? And on DMT, I saw it instantly. You know what I mean? So it says to me.
So what you're saying is these poor Hindus are praying all their life, hoping for that moment. You've had a dose of DMT and fucking beat them all to it.
I should go set up shop out there.
Watch our fucking inbox swamp with the Hindu community.
Get me some DMT.
You'll see me on the garage with my little stall. Like I go, come over.
It'd be like fucking what's them off Lockstop. If you're not here buying, you're up here shoplifting in. Yeah.
But yeah, it strikes me as that because there are so many commonalities between what the experiences that people have, there has to be some intrinsic tie between everything.
There's some mad connection there.
Which we can't explain,
which you can't see.
I think sometimes it's good not to be able to sort of have the answers, because I think when we think we've got the answers, that's when we get into trouble.
Yeah,
like with religion and whatnot. We all think, oh, we're right, we've got this answer.
It sounds like what you're going on about, right? As bizarre as this may sound, going into other people's fucking dreams and realities, and it sounds like Matrix stuff.
It does,
yeah.
Doesn't he?
It wouldn't surprise me, with what we've seen in films in the past and what's in reality now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if Matrix was a message.
Yeah.
How can you appear in my
Do you remember
dream?
Do you remember Judge Dredd? Watching Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
And they had the driverless cars.
Yeah.
Look around now.
Yeah, they say art imitates life, don't they? You know what I mean?
That all first started in Total Recall.
Was he?
Yeah.
Total Recall, isn't that the space one?
Yeah.
That's the one where they're on Mars, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's where the first electric cars were started.
Was it?
That's when they started showcasing.
I remember I'm sure it was Judge Dredd where they're going down a highway and they've got a screen.
And it was
with
also
all the other cars coming down on the highway and it's avoiding them.
Yeah.
The technology is.
We did something in Demolition Man as well. Fucking where are we going with this conversation? Rewind it.
I just started touching that. I just noticed that. Like, that's the first time I
tried to stroke the flamingo in the corner.
I thought I was on DMT.
There's a fucking flamingo next to me, lads. Help!
It's the flamingo god.
Interesting. That's very interesting to hear about. I mean, I've never done DMT. I've never done mushrooms apart from microdosing. So it was very interesting for me to learn and understand that. Yeah.
Right.
It's becoming more common knowledge, isn't it? Joe Rogan's been a big advocate.
I love him.
Yeah, he's allowed that.
Talks sense, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, I wouldn't say I always agree with everything he says, but I like the way he has conversation with everybody.
Yeah.
He'll bring people onto the podcast.
Even if he doesn't agree with it, he'll have the conversation.
I think that's what we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do need that. But yeah.
Right, we all done about the DMT then?
I'm happy. Are you happy?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions to tie up the whole music thing.
Done it again, I know.
Well, you knocked your mic stand again.
No, I just literally, I can't do anything now, mate.
He's getting the springs, hasn't he?
I need strapping down, mate. And I need to fucking strap him into the sofa.
We can see you doing it. We're going to put that in and go.
Yeah. Right, Dave. Couple of questions for you.
Yeah, man.
Just give us your answers and more about music again, yeah. But just to tie the segment up.
Okay.
What's your favourite album of all time?
Favourite album again. It's difficult. Depends on what mood.
Don't matter how difficult it is.
Leftism.
There's only one you can ever listen to again.
Leftism by Left Field. I still listen to it weekly, mate. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Stranded on a desert island, and your iPod only fits 3 tunes on. That's all you can listen to till you're rescued.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a year, could be 10 years. What are them 3 tunes?
So I'd have Fat Planet by Left Field. I would have. There's a new artist that I'm listening to called Nathan. I can't remember what the song's called now, but he's got some wicked. Can't remember what this track's called now.
He's just called Nathan.
Just Nathan, yeah. Just Nathan, yeah.
What kind of genre is it?
It's so he hasn't called it himself, but he was called. It's like.
What would you class it?
Fucking hell, Space blues cowboy music. Future space blues cowboy music.
We'll have to do a baseline mix of that.
No, honestly, it's wicked. I started Speego's remix of one of his tracks. Actually, it's like really, it's down tempo like bluesy stuff, but electronic. It's fucking really cool.
Okay.
He's ex-military. This guy, he's from America. But you can hear like the emotion and stuff tied to his music. I'll show you some stuff. Like, I'll send you some stuff. It's really good. And the third one.
Yep, third one.
New York and Soul. Yeah. What's the track called?
Runaway.
Black Hole. Is it Black Hole of the Sun or something? I can't remember what the track's called now, man.
We'll have a look at them.
Yeah.
We'll put it
You
on
know
the
what? I'm so shit with names and music and stuff. I know people who are like fanatics about stuff. They know everything about them.
Yeah.
Like,
We're vinyl collectors, so sometimes I didn't know the name of the track, but I knew it was the blue and orange cover.
yeah.
That's the one I'm playing, the one with the blue and orange cover.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. One more then. Ultimate festival lineup, 8-hour festival. Everyone's playing for an hour. You're playing as well.
So I've got 8 hours.
What's your lineup? So you got 7 other artists on a lineup with you.
You'd be lucky to get me on there, mate. I'd just be at fucking. I don't know.
You'll be fucking
Okay.
visiting the Hindu
Okay.
god in one of the tents somewhere. You will.
Okay, so imagine you're front of the crowd and you
Yeah.
can
take
choose,
yourself out of it then,
you
yeah.
can choose the 7 acts.
It's got to be electronic music.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
Electronic.
I'd
Fucking
say
flip.
electronic
Electronic.
music because that's
Okay.
our
Yeah.
audience, man. I don't
No,
want to
that-
start going
that's
into
cool.
fucking
That's
Def
cool.
Leppard and
It's
stuff
not
like that.
our audience.
Go on then.
So
If you want Fleetwood Mac, have Fleetwood Mac.
yeah, I would have Fleetwood Mac actually. I fucking love him, man. But left field, Orbital, and Massive Attack straight away. Subtract, I think you know Subtract.
Yeah, I love Subtract.
Fucking love Subtract, man. Who else are we thinking now? There's a band called Elder Island, which are like electronic folk music, which are really cool.
Okay, and if you're not playing, you got 2 more.
Okay, I'd probably get you and Riggs on there, mate.
Oh, friends.
Yeah.
House friends.
No, you know what? In all fairness, though, like I have grown up on your music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's weird because we've been mates, like. But fucking when I was younger, I was listening to speed garage. It was all fucking bass toms. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd who else? Maybe Tony DeVee if he was still alive.
Oh,
yeah,
Tony
that's a
DeVee,
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Is that 8 now? Is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What would yours be, Wayne?
See, I've grown up now. I probably wouldn't have any dance artists whatsoever.
Funny.
I'd have the likes of Luke Combs for a start, because I'm big into country music. So
He's another one who's big into country music.
I've always been big into.
No, you ain't always been big into it. I'd always been big. Not over here.
I've always been big into it, just because I don't share
Oh,
it.
come on. You're jumping on the country bandwagon.
I've been on it for ages.
Well, the year.
See, the things with Mickey, he gets his thing in his head, and it has to be right.
Oh, yeah, I'm always right.
Same as
always
I've
right.
always, right. Okay, so you can tell me.
He's lefty. I'm right.
I haven't. You're going to tell me now that I don't like Fleetwood Mac.
I'm not going to tell you that because you would have grew up on that.
UB40.
Because your mum or your dad would have been listening to it when you were young.
Right, and what do you think my granddad listened to most of their life? Country music.
Was he?
Yeah, it's why it's all stuck with me. And
Which one? 9 to 5 car wash.
What?
What's her name?
Dolly
What's her name?
Parton?
Yeah, she's
You
queen of
class-
country, isn't she?
Yeah, but no, you can't class Dolly Parton as just that is.
No, she's queen of country though.
Yeah, but you've. You don't have George Straits or none of them, do you?
No, I don't know. About
Morgan
it.
Wallen
I know
or-
Luke Holmes.
Yeah, but Luke Combs is incredible. Absolutely, like a breath of fresh air for the country music.
Okay.
He's brilliant.
Is he American geezer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you before? That's my fucking.
I'm waiting for your lineup. I don't want to
That's
know
my-
about Luke Holmes' fucking
So
life.
I've got to have a what?
You can have whatever you want. You got to have 8 acts on there.
Then I'm gonna go Queen,
Yeah,
UB40,
yeah,
Dire Straits,
yeah,
Fleetwood Mac,
yeah,
Luke Combs.
yeah.
Getting tough now. Oasis.
Yeah.
Oasis.
I'd rather have
Fucking love
Blur,
it.
I think.
What? Fucking weirdo. Blur.
Why?
No. And then I think I'd go with something. See, people would say like the Beatles, but I've never been a big fan of the Beatles. I just think they're an inspiration to rock music. I don't actually quite like their stuff that much.
No.
No. I'd probably have like, I don't know, George Michael or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a good choice, man. I love George Michael.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Before or after he announced kids.
He did. Well, don't start there. There's no proof.
I ain't gonna say a legend no more because he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
No. George. I've always been a. Good
See, when
fan.
I done my sort of festival lineup in my head, it was based around DJing and like a live performance. So I'd have had like James Abelia, DJ EZ, Andy Farley, and then it'd be Cole Cox.
That's what I was looking at, waiting for that name.
Cole Cox, Prodigy, Luciano, and me.
And yourself.
Yeah,
What's that?
I want to play.
Warm up.
If I'm
He's
picking
on
that,
first.
If I'm picking that lineup, I'm fucking playing.
Mickey's on first.
Fucking definitely playing on that.
Come on, then, what the questions you got? Hey, have you ever seen you've seen a podcast, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, you're going to get him to put something in the bin?
Yeah. Right, so we do a thing on the show called Get in a Bin. If you've watched before, you'll already know that. This is where we pick something in society to completely fucking get rid of.
Well, you will.
But as you're the guest this week, I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah.
So give us your Get in the Bin. What would you like to throw in the bin, Dave?
I'm a bit worried
From Birmingham.
I'm a bit worried about the clapback that I might have from the young people here, and at the risk of sounding like an old bastard. But
We're getting on now, Dave. We're getting on.
But look, camera phones on the dance floor.
Yes.
Camera phones on the dance floor.
Booyaka! What did I say the other week? That's
Yeah.
going to be my you've stole mine.
Yeah, well.
Unlucky.
It is. Were you going to say that this week, Will?
No, but the other week we were
Was
talking
it?
about something, and I went, I know. He went, no, don't save it.
It's
Camera phones on the dance floor
Yeah,
to get in the bin. Camera phones on the dance floor piss me off.
done my head in, mate.
They piss me off. And not only on like the dance floor, it's like I took my missus to see Emily Sandé. Oh, I love Emily Sandé. She's amazing. So I got her tickets. And she spent a fucking hour with a phone filming her. And I just went, when are you ever going to watch that?
We've not enjoyed the show then.
When are you ever going to watch
You're not
it?
enjoying it.
You're not enjoying it.
You're never going to watch it because
Yeah.
you're there, you record it, you're watching it through your phone. When I bought you to see it visually,
Yeah.
you're watching it through your phone. When you record it through your phone, if you do watch it back, it won't sound as good because it's through your fucking phone. Just listen to it and experience
Have you
it.
ever tried to like speak to someone about it who does film stuff on the phone? Have you ever tried to like question why they do it?
I'll try and stand in front of
A
them,
lot
if
of
I'm
them-
honest.
Yeah.
They get
Fucking do the Reading.
Defensive about it. Yeah. They're defensive. About it.
I try and stand in
So-
front of them and just keep fucking moving around, so they've got to keep moving the phone.
I went to see that 56 Octagon, right?
Yeah.
Not by choice. Like at the time, my missus bought me a ticket.
I
And,
like him,
I
I do,
like
you know.
him. I know I do like him, but at the time, I was like,
I watched him on...
I wasn't really, bothered or anything like that.
So I watched him. I listened to him on Dodge Woodall's podcast.
He's wicked. No, he's wicked.
and I
And you
think
know
he's
what?
got a really good story, man.
You know what? He's an amazing DJ. So he
Yeah.
played a 6-hour set, didn't drop a beat, and he took it through so many different genres and.
Yeah, 'cause he plays like
built it-
garage, trance, progressive house,
he did
house,
it
everything.
he did it so well. But I've gone to this gig expecting to see a load of other people my age who, with the heritage of the music he's playing.
They're all kids.
They're all kids. So I've walked in there. First thing that's happened, I walked in there. Some geezer at the bar, probably 18-year-old. He goes, oh, I'm really glad to see you here. Like, and I was like, all right. He went. It's nice to see people your age coming to this. And I was like, what? He was like, my mum got me into this stuff. I was like, you get the fuck out of here, mate. That's the first thing that I fucking walked into. Like,
Should have
I
hit
was
him on
like-
the head with his
I
own
was
phone.
like, you bastard, mate. I was like, thanks. It was a night where Anthony Joshua was fighting Tyson Fury. So like I begrudgingly got dragged to this night. It wasn't I didn't want to see fish. I wanted to watch the fight. So I'm standing downstairs with the doorman huddled around the phone, and then I've walked upstairs to this. And the first thing I've noticed is looked at the dance floor, they've all got the phones out. And I'm like, I can't really let my hair down. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really. I like to have a dance when I'm in a club, and
Yeah.
the last thing I want to be doing. Sorry, Wayne.
You and that fucking lead, man.
He keeps banging in the springs. Go boom.
It needs one of them that hang from the ceiling, doesn't it? The ones that come down.
Do you know what I'm going to get him?
from
I'm
the
going to get him a
ceiling.
fucking clip on for
Yeah,
his collar. Wireless.
Right, so lefty Dave the Elf, Dave from Birmingham. Dave's
just wanna-
getting the bin. He's
Just want to throw in there quickly. Have you seen...
you done it again?
Well,
You just interrupted me.
because you're trying to finish it.
I'm not trying to finish
You
it.
are.
I'm just saying he's getting a bin. His mobile phone's on the dance floor.
Right, but he's not. He's trying to. That's what he says when he's like, "Shall we put it in the bin?" I know what's coming up,
You're like a married couple.
and
you
he'll
two, mate.
do it.
And do you know what? Do you know what's here this time?
Change it
I'm
to
going
a
to overcut you this time. Do you know what's here this time? 3 people. So there's a vote on getting the bin. It's not your choice.
No, I'm going for it. I think it should go in the bin because it was going to be mine anyway. But word of mouth, band phones. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
Oh, that's is it Stu?
Stu
Latest thing, yeah.
That's
Brilliant.
a great show.
No phones on the
am I
dance
right
floor.
in saying that crowd are predominantly like a little bit older as well?
It's the same at the football. When you see them doing it at the football, it's like it's on the fucking telly, mate.
Yeah.
And they've got much better cameras than
I
you.
don't know, I'm guilty of that. I like when I'm in the crowd
I took a
and there's a penalty or a free kick, I want to film that shit.
I took a
Because you get all
picture
the
of
action and you cheer and you joy. You've not got that telly.
I took a picture of me and Patrick Aubameyang before.
Never heard of him.
Patrick Aubameyang.
Never heard of him.
No.
He's got a picture of him, hasn't he?
But I took a picture of me and him as a selfie. But he was on the pitch and I just did it like that. He was just there. had that big behind me like.
Me and my mate come for a walk up the football field.
Right, so go on then.
Yeah, it's in the bin for me, 100%.
So phones?
Yeah.
Phones on the dance floor. 100% in the fucking bin.
That was a good one. Although you stole mine.
Oh well, you'll have to get your thinking hat back on and think some more. Right, my getting in the bin this week then. And
Half of these are made up. They're not even real.
what do you mean they're not even real?
Fucking dogs in prams.
Have you
I
ever
heard
seen,
that,
have you
yeah.
ever seen them?
I have actually. And
Yeah.
it was only after you'd said that.
Was
Like,
it?
Yeah, 'cause
You
I
saw
thought-
one?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
After he said it. So like I was driving down the street the other day, but he goes, look at that. And I was like, that's a dog in a pram, isn't it? And it was only after Mickey had said it.
You wouldn't have noticed it
Maybe-
before because
maybe
you
I
thought it was a
wasn't- yeah,
baby.
I wasn't primed for
I'm
it.
still yet to see one.
I wasn't primed for it, man.
You don't get out enough, man.
You need,
That's the problem.
you need to be constantly looking at prams now, man. And like,
Do you know how weird that
Checking
sounds?
for babies.
yeah.
Checking for
fucking
babies.
weird.
Let's look for
Do you know how
prams.
weird that sounds?
Yeah. That's a quote in it, that one.
Okay, my getting in the bin this week are people on trains who think they're entitled for their luggage to have a seat while it's packed and there's other people standing up.
That's bullshit, that is.
You are a fucking prick.
Yeah. Not just, yeah, and buses as well.
Yeah. I've paid for a ticket and you expect me to stand up while your bag has a seat. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them can get in the bin. I've picked up. I used to catch a train from Birmingham back to Wolverhampton every night when I worked at Tempest until obviously I got my car. And the one day there was a woman sat by the window, and she had a bag only about that big. She could have put it on her lap. It was on the seat, and the train was full. There was about 20 people standing up. I went, "Excuse me, can you move your bag, please?" She went, "No." So excuse me.
So rude, man. That is.
I said, I've paid for a ticket to be on the train for a seat. And you think your bag's more entitled than me? I'm not moving it. She was on the phone like that. I'm not moving it. So I picked the bag up and I fucked it on the middle aisle and then sat down next to her. And then she went, can I get up to get my bag, please? I went, yeah, got up. And I sat in her seat, in the window seat. You can fucking sit on the end now. I can't deal with people like that, man. It's like...
Yeah.
You know, people have paid for their tickets to sit on a train, and you think your bag's more entitled to be there than
Maybe she had a dog in the bag.
probably
I'd have sat on the stuff.
fucking squash whatever's in there.
Yeah, I'd have sat on it.
Fucking bitch.
I mean, I can't really comment on this. I've not used trains or buses for 25 plus years.
Oh, he's posh now, isn't he?
yeah, he's a posh bastard.
I don't need to.
Well, you get chauffeured now, do you?
No, I've got two vehicles. I don't need to. I don't need to.
What do you reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you two decide. Yeah, I
Well,
think it's wrong.
there's three
yeah.
of us, so it's a
Yeah, but I
vote.
think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I think they shouldn't do it, and I would have just sat on the fucking bags.
Yeah.
I would have sat on them and probably farted as well.
Yeah. Broke wherever you can and shit. on it.
Fucker.
Fucker. That's what we're saying then.
We'll let you decide whether it should go in the bin.
Yeah, I'd say that, mate. I'd say
100%.
that. Yeah.
So, yeah. People who think their luggage is entitled to a seat and you're not,
Oh, that's
you
two.
are in the fucking bin.
They've gone in the bin real quick. Normally we're debating this.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But I've got a few from some viewers that I'm going to read out. First one is from Steph in Cheltenham. Dog owners who don't clean the shit up when they take the dogs for a walk, or even worse, bag it and leave it hanging on a tree.
Have you got a dog?
I I haven't, but my auntie's got a guide dog, and I know the question you're going to ask here.
How does she pick the shit up?
Yeah, how does she? Right, so she's not fully blind, so
Okay.
she knows when it's done it, right, and she does pick it up. But there are people in that community who don't do it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who just don't do it anyway. You know.
Yeah, I'm on about
I think that is.
I think what Steph's referring to here is, you know, the scruffs in the street who just walk their dog and then let it shit anywhere.
Yeah, it's not right, is it, man? It's
No.
not right.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're taking your dog over a field or whatever. Kids are going to be playing that field.
Yeah.
Football, rolling around in the sun, in dog shit. And has it been proven now that dog shit can make you go blind?
I heard that. I don't know if it was no wives' tale, but that's what we
It's,
got told when we were younger.
Apparently, it's very fucking poisonous if
Yeah.
it's in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's a killer for humans as well.
I mean, I remember
Not that I want to taste dog shit. Like,
when I was younger, it was everywhere. You know what I mean? Like you used to get the white dog shit, and so, you know, it's got a little bit of a special to see the white dog shit. Wasn't it? You know what I mean?
That's been there a while.
Yeah.
my dog's fucking shit's that big. I let her have a shit before I take her out.
Yeah.
Because I ain't picking that up in the street. I need fucking 2
Have you
bags.
seen his dog?
My dog
Mate,
was
it's higher than this. It's about higher than the table. It's about
You
here.
know, man.
not quite.
Fuck you. Come off it.
She's 8.5 stone.
Huge.
Really?
She is 8.5 stone. So you
For
can imagine how
fuck's
big her
sake,
shits are.
She wants to love you
I
giving her one.
ain't picking that up in the street, man. So I let her have a shit and then take her out for a walk.
Big dog, man.
She ain't having 2 of them shits in a day. Definitely not.
Big dog.
So we're saying then,
100% in the bin.
Yeah.
Not into that one.
dog owners and dog shit in the bin.
You got to think about dogs.
Right. Another one for you, another quick one. Craig from Wolverhampton. We know this is Craig the Hamill. He posted this on one of the posts.
Did he?
People who clap when a plane lands or at the end
He's
of the film
one
in
of
the
them?
cinema.
Craig's one of them who clap.
You reckon?
Craig, you clap when the fucking plane lands. Don't even go there in your big fucking lorry like this. Hey, Mickey.
Yeah, people who clap when planes land or at the end of a film.
Yeah, I think.
He's put at the end, fucks me right off.
Yeah, but if you notice the people who clap at them like elderly people or
Nah,
filming with kids.
not always.
When
Fucking weirdos on any flight when it claps. You've done your job. Fuck off.
I've never experienced it really.
Nah.
Not that I can remember.
I think I've heard it once.
You probably just go to Ibiza and that though, and you'd say no one gives a fuck there. And on the way back, everyone's asleep anyway.
Everyone's got the clap on there, especially when they get back.
We go to nice places like Barbados and that. Yeah. Barbados, Cuba, long haul flights.
Yeah.
So maybe they're clapping because it's been so fucking long on the flight, they're glad they've made it.
Yeah, probably.
Get
What
me
about
off this
that?
fucking
They,
box.
they are sausages.
Sausages. People who clap when a plane lands or at the end of a
Craig's
film.
definitely one of them.
But Craig is definitely a fucking clapper. Happy clapper.
Craig, say hello to Louise for me and congratulations on the little one becoming a young lady now.
Is he going to be a Wolves fan?
She.
She?
His daughter's all grown up now. Did you not
Is
see him
she?
post about it the other day?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I've seen Bertie getting big
Yeah.
already. Right, I got one more then. Jay from Falmouth.
From where?
It's somewhere down in Cornwall. Falmouth or Falmouth.
Is this Jay Crossingham? Is it?
It's Jay Crossingham, yeah. He's one of our Patreons.
We
on
try
the,
not,
yeah.
we try not to
Yeah.
say the full
Oh,
name.
shit, right,
but,
yeah. Yeah, but you know what? He's the only Jay from Falmouth, man.
Yeah, there ain't no more
He
Jays in
likes to let
Falmouth.
everyone know he's from Falmouth as well.
Everyone else in Falmouth's named like Leonard or
Yeah.
Bernard.
Right, Jay says the overuse of lip fillers and by extension trout pout photos. Not once in my entire life have I ever seen a trout pout and thought, oof, you're hot with your massive fucking fish lips.
I'm not on board with this one. I'm sorry.
You're not?
No.
You like them?
No.
Lip fillers?
It's not about that. I'm looking at why they do it.
I'm not.
I'm not on board with this one. I'm sorry.
I would lean on the side of what Wayne's saying there because although conventionally I don't find it that attractive.
It's not attractive at all.
No,
I've never met a man who says it is attractive.
Doesn't matter.
But I know what the women are going to say. We don't do it for the men.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
I'm not on board with that. I'm sorry, I'm not on board with that one. I can't be. Because cosmetic surgery is no joke.
Okay.
A beautiful woman, yeah.
But
Who
some
then-
of them, they have one little bit and then they've got to have another
no,
little
but
bit.
this is the
and another
society
little
that
bit.
we- right,
and then
again-
before you know it, they've got a fucking baboon's arse
Mickey,
on the face.
Right, but again,
It's
now,
not good.
This is what has been deemed as the norm in society today.
Well, somebody needs to put a fucking
Right.
stop to it then.
Because girls no longer want lips. I know a black girl who had lip fillers. Work that out. On my fucking son's life.
Wow. They don't need them. And when they do, it's you don't need to go as far
But
as you
she
do
was
to keep going.
unhappy with the way that she looked.
But
And
you
when
ain't
she
gonna
had-
you ain't gonna be any happier if your lips look like they're
Yeah, she
fucking
is.
swole.
Yeah, but she was happier. So now what you're saying
don't
is
know, man.
live miserable because men
I'm not
think
saying
you look
that.
stupid.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just reading what Jay put, and I do agree with what Jay put. I've never been attracted to anyone with that type of lips. Your sister was telling me I'm gonna have. I fucking don't.
But,
I'll leave.
but no, you wouldn't leave
I'm
her.
not attracted to
No,
that.
you wouldn't leave her.
If she walked around with her big rubber lips,
No,
I
you
would.
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
I would.
know you wouldn't. Well, come on.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
What's your view on this?
So
I understand why they
I'm
do
kind
it.
of with you there, Wayne. Like, so I agree that like it's it might not be conventionally attractive to some of us, but like I think it's that whole.
Some of us though, it's
Yeah, but, like,
99%
It's the
of
same.
men.
It's the same with boob jobs and stuff in it, and like what do you call it? Like,
Wayne likes boob jobs.
yeah, but
No, I love tits.
It's still cosmetic in it. I think once you get you go down that route, and I think women have got like a real sort of like difficult beauty standard to try and adhere to, especially with social
'cause of
media.
fucking Instagram and
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Everyone's a
100%.
fucking model, and it's
I
like
wouldn't say. I'd say it's fucking wrong,
I've had
mate.
to have this conversation with the girls in my family. Like, just because it's on that Instagram, they don't look like
But
that.
you're missing. It's not.
Everyone doesn't look like
Mickey,
that.
It's not just lip fillers. They're having BBL. They're having their asses done. They're having
done.
fillers and Botox and fucking. I know a girl who had fucking
Crow's eyes. Yeah, that's getting
put here.
removed.
They put a fucking needle in here or something, and pulled her whole fucking face up.
It ain't for me. Just grow old
But,
gracefully,
yeah,
mate.
but does it matter if it ain't right for you? Is it right for them?
Possibly, but who's selling it to them is the important part of it. Because there's always, in women's beauty, there's always someone making money.
Oh, there's a whole industry of it, and
And that's what it is. Put these pictures up, make them feel shit, so they buy these products.
I couldn't stand there and have fucking needles in my fucking face and fucking all the shit. They've got to be brave to do that because I've seen people with the fucking
Too much,
blood
man.
on the lips, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, and that girl had holes
Too much,
holes in
man.
her head here when they were pulling needles in and all this kind of stuff.
I
I
discourage
why.
you as much as I can.
But it's their choice. If they've got some kind of issue with something about the way that they look, or if they're not happy with the part of their body that they feel they need to change, then that is on them. And I'm never ever going to say that, oh, it's fucking wrong, you shouldn't do that. I'll be very, very supportive of it.
Okay. So that one's not going in the bin.
I
then.
don't think that's good. Do you agree?
Yeah, I could get Jay's point though. I get what he's saying, but I think I think you've got to think about the women now, ain't you, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they're
There we
doing it
go
for a
then.
reason, innit?
That one, sorry, Jay. That one ain't going in the bin, mate. But that is the end of the section then. Your turn now with the dilemmas.
This is from Nathan in Preston. All right, lads.
Preston.
Loving the podcast.
Thank you, Nathan.
Bit of a petty one, but it still feels dodgy. Went to a pub quiz with some mates, and we were neck to neck with another team. Final question was a film quote. I didn't know it, so I googled it under the table while pretending to scratch my ankle. We won by a point and got £40 bar tab. They were fuming, said we cheated. I played innocent, even said don't. Yeah, come on.
What?
You want me to put him on naughty step because he used Googling a fucking pub quiz.
What he's asking?
Why have you even allowed this email to come through? Nathan, you wet flannel. So you cheated. You cheated at a game. You're not more fucking balls deep in a bird, are you? There's a difference. You've allowed this one to come through. This is like that girl the other week. She said,
Are you even reading the right section?
yeah. Said we
Because
cheated.
you just said naughty step.
Ah.
What a tit. What a tit. Sitting there going, no, you let me fucking through.
There's so many.
Wayne, you get forwarded the script long before we
Yeah.
fucking come on here.
Yeah, but there's so many.
There's not so many. You just go to the bit that says dilemmas and the emails are there. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
Just realised I had this sticker on my top the whole time.
So it looks cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Looks cool.
extra large.
No. Right, we're going to start this part again then.
But not, just carry on. I'll just let everyone know what a tit you are. Carry on. Reading the wrong section.
Nah.
Come on. Dilemma. Go.
Fuck you, Lefty. That's your fault. Distracting me. Right. All right, boys. So my wife started smashing the gym twice a day.
Yep.
Eating clean, new clothes, the lot. She's looking amazing, and I'm proud of her, don't get me wrong. But she's getting loads of attention now. Lads messaging her, commenting her on pics, and she loves it.
Dirty bitch.
I'm trying not to sound insecure, but I'm feeling like the boring fella at home while she's getting gassed up on Instagram. How do I handle this without it turning into a jealous knobhead? Cheers. Reese in Gloucester.
Reese in Gloucester.
What do you reckon to that one, Dave?
How do you
Yeah,
handle that?
I don't know actually, man.
Probably
I think he's probably a lucky bloke. To be fair, you know what I mean? He's misses like
go to the gym with her,
yeah. Go to the gym. with
smash
him,
it
yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
and then his inbox might blow up.
I suppose if he
There's
trusts
loads
him,
of gym birds with big tits.
Yeah,
Is it a big deal?
I don't think so.
Depends how she's receiving it, isn't it?
Well, he said she's loving it.
She's obviously loving it, but is she loving it like, oh, fucking hell, I'm doing well, look at all these likes, or is she doing it like, oh, fucking hell, look at all these cocks I could be sucking?
This guy.
How's she looking at it?
This guy.
How is she looking at it?
It's not... Mickey, man.
What?
He wants to know, right, how does he handle it? It's fucking Instagram. It's a picture platform. Guess what that means?
There's going to be attention.
Yeah,
But what's it mean? You post pictures to be liked.
Oh, yeah.
So it means nothing.
You post
Nothing.
content you think other people want to see.
It's if you're posting pictures on a platform which is for you to like, guess what's going to happen?
People are going to like them.
So what's the
I think
problem?
he's just bothered that it's obviously men
Attention.
messenger
It's-
and she's liking it.
It's online.
But it's just like, yeah, it's online and
You can't put this onto her. Is she loving it? Blah blah blah. We've got to look at the reality of this, right? It's just social media. It's just Instagram. They're just pictures,
yeah.
right? If my missus posts a picture of her and she got 20,000 fucking likes, I would not give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
Because who's she with? Who's she sleeping with? Who's she happy with? Means nothing, does it? Am I wrong, Dave?
no, I think that's a good point, man. Especially with social media, man. Like, the reason you put stuff on there is because you want to kind of show people what you're doing, and you get a bit of like adoration for it, I suppose, and you
Yeah.
with the likes.
I'd
and stuff,
encourage my missus, go out, pay for photo shoots for her, encourage her, get this, go into lingerie, show yourself off. You're fucking beautiful, show the world. It is nothing. I'm not telling you to go out there and start sucking dick and taking up the ass, right? I'm not saying that. But just to go out in underwear pictures and showing off on the beach or in a fucking dungeon with some lingerie and fucking whips and chains, whatever, doesn't mean anything.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Getting a twitch.
I knew that was happening.
Lingerie.
It's nothing. It's nothing, is it? I encourage it.
Yeah.
Do it more. You should encourage her and be like, go on, do it.
Okay.
Would you encourage your missus to do it?
She does. Yeah, she does.
Did it bother you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it. You know, it's if it helps them feel a little bit not better about themselves, but you know, if it does give them a little boost, then sound.
Well, fair play to her. She's overcome whatever to go to the gym, eat clean, blah blah blah.
So she's obviously been gymming now. She's got a nice ass and she's pouting it about a bit.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the end goal?
Yeah.
I'd probably do the same.
What's
if I
he
could, man.
what's he expecting her to do? Why go in the gym and eating clean? Yeah. No, I'm sorry, but that's, dude. You need to chill. There's nothing. You encourage her, show her off, be proud of what she's done, and tell her how proud of you of what she's achieved, and say to her, "All right, now you've done this, this, and this. Get some, go on holiday, get on the beach, take some pictures, and post them. Encourage her to do it. What she doesn't want is a jealous guy because you'll piss her off.
Okay. So, who was it? Reese in Gloucester.
Yeah.
Reese in Gloucester. Just let her get on with it, mate. If it's making her happy.
Yeah.
It's making her happy, isn't it?
Love the way you looked at the camera, Reese. And
Happy wife, happy life.
get on with it, mate.
Apparently.
Reese,
Yes, Reese.
don't be a dickhead. And on that note, what's her Instagram?
Yeah. Well, tag her in the comments. Let's have a look at that. Right, do you want to do another dilemma?
No, I'm fucking sweaty, man.
No, we'll do one naughty step then.
I didn't realise we were going to do the same fucking sketch with guests. I thought it was been totally different, but here we go.
No, I put it in the fucking script for you. We were doing the interview, and then the second half of the show is the same with the guest
I thought
interacting.
that second half of the show was us filming
This
another fucking show.
Geezer, man. Honestly.
No, what I thought was we were going to interview you, and then when you're done, we then record another show.
Oh, shit.
It's not, it's all fucking one.
So you're here for a while today, aren't you?
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, yeah?
Oh, fuck, mate.
Right, let's have a naughty step then.
I can stand and fan you after, mate.
Don't fuck me about, Mickey.
What? We're having a naughty step.
Oh, yeah, that's the way you looked at me when you said it, you know why.
Naughty step. Are you ready? Again.
You
Wayne's already ruined one.
No.
Right. All right, lads. Been seeing a girl for about 2 months. We've never had the are we exclusive chat, but I could tell she was thinking it. She drops hints like, I don't even talk to any other guys and I've deleted all my apps. Meanwhile, I still have Hinge and Tinder on rotation. She asked me outright one night and I said, yeah, of course it's just us. I still haven't deleted anything. I know it's bad, but also she never actually asked until that night. Am I on the naughty step? And that's from Luke in Chester.
I don't get what the question is.
Yeah, I
So
missed that.
basically, he's been seeing a girl for 2 months.
Yeah.
She thinks it's exclusive.
Yeah.
But they've never actually had that chat until this night. And he's still been on Hinge and Tinder.
Well, has he agreed it's exclusive?
Obviously not until that night.
Bro,
So, you know, is he on a naughty step for obviously still knobbing other birds until that night, till he said it's exclusive?
because they weren't exclusive.
Does she think he is?
She thought he was exclusive before that chat,
Okay.
is what he's saying.
I think
He's clocked that.
You need to have like a clear boundary, really. You know what I mean? It's like
He sort of clocked, fuck, she wants us to be, she thinks we're exclusive and I'm still knobbing other birds. And then his question is, am I on the naughty step because I've only just gone exclusive?
Yeah.
But if she's not made it clear to him,
But he's obviously portrayed something in a
well,
way to
no,
her.
because birds can go off on a tangent, can't they?
Really.
Yeah.
Birds feed off men, don't they? What signals we give
can,
now?
They can go off on
Bollocks.
a tangent and think you're exclusive just because you've nailed them.
It's what
They can, man.
signals we give.
Just because you've had sex with them, they think that's it.
We've
We're
been seeing
together
her,
now.
But he's been seeing her a while.
2 months.
Yeah. So how's he been in those 2 months? Has he been feeding her with, yeah, you know, I really like you, you're the one, da da da.
Possibly, but until
He's on
you
the
have
naughty step then.
until you have that.
He's on the naughty step
No,
then.
until you have that
You
chat.
can't tell a bird you really like her and she's the one, and then go and fuck some other
You don't
bird.
say nothing about she's the one.
I'm just saying that the conversation that could
You
have
can tell
happened.
a bird you really like them and be with them for a few months before you go, shall we make it exclusive now?
You can't really like someone if you want to stick your dick in everyone else.
Why not? You
Well,
could
you
like
are.
somebody else as well.
I like sex.
Sex is good. Sticking it here, sticking it there, you know.
Should we ask the voice of reason?
Until you get the fucking...
Ask the voice
Until
of
you
reason.
get the actual nod, we're together, I don't see what he's done wrong.
Voice of reason.
yeah. I was going to ask the flamingo then, man.
That's the flamingo.
Yeah, it's. I'll be. I think I need to be like mindful of what I say because you know it's the way like me and the missus got together. So we went exclusive pretty much very soon into it because we'd known each other for a little bit.
But if you knew that from the beginning, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if she didn't
I
tell
don't
you
think-
that...
yeah, but I get that. I do get that. But I think it's difficult for the way women and men are in relationships, man.
Especially if they've met on an app, like she's saying,
Oh,
I
is
don't
it?
talk
Yeah.
to other guys, I've deleted my apps now.
Oh, is it-
that sort of tells me they've met on an app.
Yeah.
So you ain't just going to talk to somebody on an app, meet her,
yeah.
and then delete all your apps just in case she's the one.
I
did-
You've
No,
still
no.
got your rod in the water,
Okay.
haven't you?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
still
yeah.
fishing?
But it's no different to meet somebody on social media.
suppose.
Suppose not.
So where did you meet my sister?
I don't know. Whenever
On social media.
Imagine
But
if
it don't mean I was exclusive straight away.
Whoa.
met your sister and just deleted Facebook.
It don't mean I was. I mean, you know what I mean? until we said we're in a relationship. If she's been with anyone in that time, that's up to her.
But were you exclusive?
I was, yeah. But I
Do
didn't.
you know why? Because you're respectful.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down
And
to.
you
innit?
portrayed that to her. That's the way you are. And she reciprocated that.
Yeah.
So if she thinks she's exclusive, in my mind, he's
Maybe
been a
he's-
certain way, she's reciprocated.
Maybe he's allowed her to think that way then.
That's what I'm saying.
I think, yeah, it comes down to respect. I think
So
they're
if
right.
he has done that, then I think he's on the naughty step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah.
But if on
not-
the other hand, if he hasn't, then fuck
No,
her.
not yet.
Not until you've had that conversation. What if he was talking to 3 girls at that sort of time, and then he's picked this one to go on a date with?
That's a fair point.
He's
because
still
when
got
you're-
them other 2.
This is another thing I don't agree with women, right? So women have, right, oh God, I'm going to say so again, fucking hate from women.
Never.
I know women who said, yes, I'm on the dating scene, and they are perfectly okay and allowed to go on dates with several men at once or whatever else to find out who they want to be with,
Yeah.
to set their foundations with and live happy ever after. Yeah? And I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
But I know women who say to men, are you talking to other girls? At the first start, am I the only one you're talking to others? And they've gone, yeah, I'm talking to the girls. Well, I'm just not another notch.
Yeah.
Yeah? How's that work?
Fuck knows.
So you can't win. But again, other girls have gone, yeah, I'm cool with you going dating and I'll go on dates. And we'll still talk and communicate, but I am
But
gonna
that
go-
moment you two go, you know what, I do really like you and I do really like you. Shall we make it exclusive? Yeah. That's when it all stops.
But then
It has to.
Okay, so that day that they make it all exclusive,
Yeah.
anything before that day
Doesn't count.
is irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't
You
count.
don't need to talk about it. You don't need to know anything. It
It's
does
done.
not have any relevance to your
From
relationship.
the exclusivity, that's when it
As
stops.
soon as you're exclusive, it's from then on. So she can't ask him about, well, when we were talking or whatever else, was this happening?
Okay.
When was I'm not going to tell you what I was doing because none of it mattered because it wasn't relevant. Agreed?
Yeah, it's messy business though, isn't it, man, with social media now and the way people get together, man. It's like, I'd agree with what you're saying there. As soon as you like put that line in the sand, you can't go back to anything else.
Yeah.
No,
like that.
that's it. It's done from the
So
exclusivity.
I would say,
So I'd say by the way he's worded that, he's probably has led her on a little bit.
I'm thinking he has. Yeah.
So is he on the naughty step?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree?
I'd say so, mate. Yeah.
Luke from Chester, firmly on the naughty step, bro.
Oh.
Unlucky. Right. Coming to the end of the show then. Is there anything
How you
that-
found it?
Really, really good, to be honest. Like, I mean, I've
Yeah,
No,
I
you can tell us the truth.
no, I've been watching the show for the last few weeks. Like, you know, and you know what? Am I the first guest you've had on here?
Yeah.
That's a very humbling thing to have. That is, man. You know, I appreciate you having us on.
Tried
here,
to
man.
coincide it with the album and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like that.
very
I mean,
good, Mick, very good, man.
obviously your album come out on the 4th of July. This is probably going to air about the 18th, 19th sort of time. So
Yeah, man.
So what?
It'll-
Okay,
it'll
so
be out for a couple
where
of
can
weeks.
people, obviously, if they are not aware of your album, where can they get your album from or listen to it or anything else?
So
Let us know.
it's on all streaming and download sites now, but so
all
the
the
la-
usual ones, Spotify.
all the usual ones. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you know, download the tracks to, if you want to DJ or anything like that, Bandcamp's probably the best bet.
Yeah.
Because we see more of the money for that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Rather than going through all the, you know, the other channels. So
Fucking Juno giving you fucking
Yeah.
20 pence or something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's just getting used to all this sort of stuff now.
Yeah.
But the record label have just gone above and beyond for me, man. So I want to make sure that I'm giving back to them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to give them a shout, man. They are wicked, man.
What they called again?
So Jack said what is the main label, but I'm on the sister label called Out Your Box Records, and they've just gone above and beyond, man. You know,
Sound like a good budget, Lance.
they are, man. They're really good. I'd like to bring them up, and they're all down there, all very big. They've got busy lives doing what they're doing, but
But if they're ever this way, maybe we could organise getting one or two of them on.
yeah,
Giving their
I'll
stories.
speak to them. I'll show them what you're doing and that. So
What about their socials, your socials, websites, any of that kind of thing?
I run mainly just through Instagram, really. Yeah, just pattern_perception. I'm on everything, but like that's the only one I really like
That's the
to
one you
attend
use a
to.
lot.
I find it's too much.
much,
innit?
innit?
Yeah, like a lot, you know.
Trying to keep up with fucking
It's just-
everything.
yeah, it's just
TikTok, yeah,
annoying, man.
fucking Instagram, then YouTube. I'm doing it with the clips for this at the
Yeah.
minute.
But you're doing well with this time, man, because you are spreading it over the different platforms. And I keep seeing it.
That's the three that I'm using mainly, and
TikTok's
then
a good
occasionally
one, isn't it,
Facebook.
for this sort of stuff, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
TikTok blows with a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
videos. Yeah. So what we'll do is in the description underneath the video, wherever you're watching or listening, we'll put a link to your album directly to the Spotify link or the Bandcamp link, whichever one.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Let's support his label.
Some people don't use Bandcamp now, so we'll put the Spotify one as well.
They can learn.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything else you want to add? Anyone you want to mention before we call it a pod?
I mean, I do have to sort of say about Graham Farmer. You know, you probably seen me post about him since I've been doing this sort of stuff.
Yep.
So he runs a thing called Data Transmission, which is like it's a record label. We've got several record labels, but he does a thing called the demo stream every week, twice a week.
Yeah, sometimes I do click onto it. Like
it's brilliant, mate. It's especially for new producers. Like, so I started uploading stuff to that fairly soon after I started making music, and they give some real good feedback on it. There's him and a guy called Loz Secker who do the shows generally. So they've got like a really solid community of producers who they all lift each other up. You know what I mean? And it's like I started dropping music to this demo show, and getting good feedback from it, and then like one of the days I dropped that one more hit track on it, and I wasn't listening to the show at the time, but when I listened back to the show, like the response was really overwhelming.
yeah,
And at the end of the year, they did like a Christmas stream thing, and they put it out as the one of the tracks of the year. So it was just by chance that Rob from the record label was listening to the stream when
at the
that
same
came
time.
on.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for that track would still be sitting on my hard drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's all about timing, isn't it? Timing and luck.
Yeah. So I would say I recommend that to people who are new producers or people that have maybe become a little bit disheartened with trying to send music off to labels and stuff. Utilise what Graham's doing at Data Transmission. The guy's a wealth of knowledge, man.
Yeah.
And he's very well connected with loads of different labels. So it's
Sound.
it's always worth just using whatever tools are out there for you.
Cool. Anything
Okay.
else?
No, that's it. I'm good. I want to say thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Listen
And if
to your
you
journey.
Wayne from the Black Country.
Wow.
wave from the country and Dave from Brum.
No, it's been a pleasure to
Yeah, it's
have you on.
it's been nice. It's been easy, man.
To hear your journey before we spoke about the music. That was very, very interesting. Your music journey is interesting. Your psychedelic journey is interesting. Everything about what you've said today is interesting, not only to me, but I think it'll be interesting to everybody else. So again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us. I think you should both give yourself credit for what you're doing here, because like the podcast itself, although you've got the light-heartedness to it, you are dealing with serious topics as well, and you're doing it, sensitively, which I think is a really good thing.
We're always going to keep the light-hearted, humorous side to it, but we can talk about serious shit as well, can't we?
Meanie. It's me. I'm known for fucking about. Okay, that's it then. Want to say thank you to everybody who's just watched on, and of course, I did ask for some comments early on at the start of the show. Make sure you whack them in the feed, and of course, any naughty steps, any dilemmas, you know the drill. What's the email, Mickey?
What are you asking me?
Go on, say.
Because you forgot it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're a fucking dick.
The ranting and raving pod@gmail.com.
Go and stream Pattern Perception, Spectrum Disorder, all platforms now. Go and give that album a listen and let us know how you feel about that. And don't forget our Patreon, where you can subscribe on there and see our Patreon shows. And you'll also get early access to the public shows as well. Anything else, Wayne? Because I'm done.
Nope, we're all good. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Dave from Brum. Thank you, Wayne from the Black Country. See you next time.
See you later.